Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Live on Neeves Knives. Did you guys see how I opened it up? I went to smack it out and it closed on me. But yeah, LTK's Two Sun design. Awesome design. We're going to talk a little bit about it. We got a bunch of topics tonight. As usual, I'm thinking about starting to write down some of the topics in the description, because soon I'm going to start doing the thing where you see the live is coming up, you know, like how everybody else does, but Neeves Knives just doesn't do it. Where you can see the description and the name of the video and everything before we actually go live. So where it's like set up, they go live at 7:30. So I'm thinking about doing it where I set up the topics in the video, in the description before we ever go live, so that people later on, you know, tomorrow or next week, whatever, can see them. And I also thought about possibly doing like maybe a Q&A one once a week. And, you know, because we have Wednesdays and Saturdays, every Wednesday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time is the live. So maybe one of them being a Q&A, meaning it'll be knife questions throughout the week that were asked, kind of like how Knife Center does. They do the weekly Q&A or whatever, but kind of like that. But then if somebody later on watches the video, they can just go right to the question that they are interested in. Cheers to everybody out there watching Neeves Knives live. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Breeze will not be here tonight. He is on the road, so shout out to Breeze. He'll be here next time. Breeze. How's everybody doing? What's up, Todd? Brian? Hey, man. I like the name. Hey, man. Jared? Logical? Also, another thing, you know, I have my moderators and everything, but I need to start utilizing them better, because I could have them already set up with some of the topics if they wanted to. Like, if they obviously, if they're busy or whatever, they wouldn't have to. But like some of them, you know, I'm in contact with, you know, in between videos and everything. So we talk on Instagram and everything. So it wouldn't be a bad idea. Is Cara enabling you again with your energy drinks?
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. These new winter ones are fucking delicious, man. They're pomegranate. Oh, man, these are the best ones ever. The best ones yet right here. Oh, man, these things are... If I was going to quit, it'd be hard now. After they came out with that flavor. Hey, Mom. How you doing, Mama? Oh, Jared, have you had any Sitivian knives? And no, but they do the what was that brand? Oh man, I can't even think of the name of it, but seems like that company is also doing the same ones as that other company I did. Like, they have some of the same exact models, like same everything, just a different name. I believe that's Sitivian or whatever, however you pronounce it. I believe. I could be mistaking one for another. Excuse me. So just to kind of kick this off while we're waiting for people to jump in here. So I jumped on Triple B's. If everybody doesn't know who Triple B is, Big Brown Bear. He has a YouTube channel and an Instagram, but he's a knife maker. He's kind of a bigwig in the knife community. He also makes sharpening stones. They're called his petrified diamond stones or whatever, petrified stones. You could think of them similar to like venev stones, except for they do not, like, they almost don't dish, and they're a lot less wearing, I guess, and they don't load, which is the beauty of them, because venevs do load. What's up, baby? venev stones do load up. So, but anyway, so I was on his live, right? What did I say? Petrified? Vitrified stones. Anyways, the point is, wasn't about his stones. They're very expensive. They're like $450 a stone. I would buy one, but holy cow, they are definitely expensive. But I know they're worth it though, especially to somebody like me who, you know, sharpens multiple knives a day. It's definitely worth it to me because you're going to spend that in diamond plates the way I go through them. And with venev stones, you know, they work great, but they do load up. So they do require cleaning. My mom says hi. Hi. But what's in the pocket? Okay, we'll do what's in the pocket, and then I'll continue talking about me and Triple B. I've got the new Megaron Curix. Yes, baby.
Did you really have that in your pocket today, or is that what you just wanted to show?
No, it was on my hip. Or no, I just pulled it off.
Sometimes I find myself wanting to adjust what's actually in my pocket because I'd rather show it.
Earlier, I had this Kubi, but I did switch to this. I've carried this most of the day, so. But I did have the Kubi earlier.
You know what I'm talking about? Where like if you're in a situation where somebody all of a sudden asks what's in your pocket, and all of a sudden you regret it and you want to switch it.
I've done that once or twice, but I've admitted it though.
Yeah,
I've said it like, man, it's like this is what's in my pocket. Like the one time when we did that live, and you were putting a scenario where you were like, I don't remember, off grid or zombies or something, and you had to deal with what was in your
pocket.
Yeah.
In that exact moment,
you had to deal with what was in the pocket right then. And it was, I don't remember what I had, but I had like something small. It was like the last knife you would ever want in an apocalypse.
It was like the Benchmade 940 or something.
No, it was something completely different. It was literally like something small, like little. Like it was just like a little banger. And it was like a nothing knife. And it's like, damn it, I don't want this in an apocalypse. Only if it's a Spyderco. Is Spyderco joining the live or just gonna sulk in the background making peanut gallery?
Is Spyderco gonna join the live?
Oh, I read two at the same time.
Oh.
Is Cara gonna join the live?
No, I'm just I was just doing some laundry and passing by. So
she's just passing through the neighborhood, guys. Just passing through the studio.
I am about to get on a game.
What are you carrying? You ain't got shit on you.
I'm wearing boxers, so nothing.
We haven't had a care experience in a while.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day.
But she is gonna start possibly baking cookies for the Patreon members. And Cue Ball's actually got a little batch coming. He doesn't think I remembered, but he did request some home-baked cookies a couple weeks ago.
Thinking about I might have an opportunity to do one of those soon.
A wild Cara experience, Knife Sergeant said.
I know. I have an opportunity to do one soon here, so I might. Because
how's Daisy doing? Daisy's doing good. She's actually
she's not.
Well, she is.
You want to tell him what you did to her?
She's doing just fine.
No, she's not. Where is she?
She needed some stitches, but she's right outside the door over there. She's just sitting outside trying to get in.
What's that?
That's Douglas's fault trying to get in a hole that doesn't exist.
No, who created the hole?
Douglas. Yeah. That's from him humping too much.
There's two? There's three? What did you do?
Well, I had to retake the video like twice. The clip didn't go as good as I planned the first time around, so I had to refilm it twice. She just needs a couple stitches. She's all right. But yes, we are planning. What's up?
He looks like a G.
He is a G. He is a G. He's even got a kukri.
I see that.
Why do
we still have this?
That's ours. Seems logical.
Gave this to us?
He bought it. He bought that for us. I got to pick it out and everything.
Oh,
it was brand new.
I thought this was that one that he sent us the original time. I remember this one.
No, don't you remember we went for a walk?
Yes, I thought this was the original one.
She doesn't remember shit.
All right, keep fucking shit up. All right, peace, y'all.
But yes, we are, or she is going to bake some cookies for the Patreons. And so that'll be awesome. She made some chocolate chip oatmeal cookies today. Holy shit. Like some of the best cookies I've ever had. Douglas is the dog behind us, Mom. That's Douglas right there. Yes, that kukri is, yes, right, Jared's, not Cara's, Jared's. So me and Triple B were talking. Well, he was live, and I was in his live, and he made some comments, a couple statements. Well, I actually didn't even comment for a while. I just sat in the background. I do that quite a bit, and I was just listening. And then somebody made a reference towards reviewers, knife reviewers, and how they don't. Oh, okay. So the comment was, somebody said that they don't watch knife reviewers no more because they only talk about the things that don't matter on a knife. Basically, I'm summing it up basically, so that's not word for word what he said, but basically they were leaning towards they don't talk enough about heat treat steels, cutting performance, and things like that, right? And I didn't get triggered or anything, right? It's not that I got triggered, but no, that's when I chimed in, because Triple B said the same thing. Like he basically backed up that and said, yeah, I agree. I don't really watch knife reviewers no more because he said something about it's the same old, same old. Everybody's just doing the exact same thing, and nobody's talking about the things that I'm interested in, right? And he wasn't putting everybody in a box. He was saying the majority, but then he did wind up saying that, but they have to go and appeal their audience, right? It's not like, especially if you want your channel to grow, you can't just talk about the things that only 100 people are interested in versus 1,000, right? You have to appeal to the 1,000. And even if you want to talk about the one specific thing, but anyway, so I jumped in finally and I said, and I honestly didn't even know if he knew who I was, to be honest, but he did. He knew my name and everything, which I thought was pretty amazing because I've never talked to him before, right? So I jumped in, and shout out to him, shout out to Triple B, awesome dude. I've learned a lot from him. I've watched him for a long time. So, anyways, but I said that I know my audience, and I have to. When I, in my reviews, I have to appeal to the things that they're interested in while also sprinkling in the things that I'm interested in, teaching them or talking about the things that I want to talk about, right? At the same time. And, but yeah, I found it interesting when he was, talking about that. And like I said, he wasn't talking shit or anything like that. And he did wind up kind of backing it up and like some of the reasons why and everything. Excuse me. But we did talk a little bit about sharpening, and because he was talking about his diamond plates, and I said I talked about that new Atoma I have, how it's like 140 grit, and those stones you can sharpen on them, but they are for flattening. They are a flattening stone. They're super aggressive, and I know that that's why I got it. And he's like, he made a comment saying, "Oh, those stones aren't really for sharpening. You should." And he was trying to sell me his stone first of all, because he's like, "You just need to get one of my vitrified stones." And but he was saying that those stones aren't for sharpening; they're for flattening stones or whatever, which is 100% true. But I'm not, when I sharpen on them, that's not the stone I finish on, right? That's just what I reprofile on. I still have anywhere from 3 to 6 stones after that, depending on the finish I want. And so there's plenty of steel removed after that reprofiling stone. But anyways, but no, awesome dude. And I thought it was very interesting, that whole live he did. He went on for a long time. I wound up falling asleep, but I had a great time though. So there was a reviewer in the community that tested the DC53 steel, the steel from Megaron Knives. If you guys don't know, Megaron Knives has done a few knives in DC53 steel. So what is DC53 steel? It's basically a tougher, harder D2, right? Not a stainless, so it is a little less stainless, or has a little bit less chromium in it or whatever, but it's it can be heat treated at a higher HRC, and it's stronger and tougher. Anyway, so I hadn't tested it in any controlled setting, right? I just used it for EDC, got my results from that, and sharpened it. But I did speak about how it's sharpened, right? I spoke about how it's sharpened, and I talked about how it takes a ridiculously sharp edge. You can really feel the difference on the stone from D2 100%, like especially the type of edge it takes and how easily it polishes compared to like D2. One, it sharpens up easier, but it seemed to take a much keener edge than D2 at a higher grit. So I'm not saying that D2 doesn't take a ridiculously keen edge. I'm saying at a higher grit. Anyways, but somebody in the community that has a YouTube channel did test it. So if you guys want to go watch that video, I'm not going to tell you the results, but I was actually very impressed with his results. He's actually sending his knife, and that was on the Valona. That's what he tested, the Valona, but he's sending his to Outpost 76 for Outpost 76 to test as well. But he's got cut test results if you guys want to see it. I was very impressed, to be honest, with the tests. But All Things Knives is his YouTube channel. So if you guys don't know of his channel, go and follow his channel, and you can hear his cut test results. Like I said, they are very impressive. So we have 85 people in here. All right. So that's cool, though, that somebody out there is testing some steels, and I'm happy to hear that it's because I was worried personally, and this hasn't been tested yet. So, but I was worried whether or not it was going to microchip, or if that could possibly be a thing with that steel. Now, not that I've experienced that or anything, but that was one of my worries with it. It just took such a keen edge, right? Just such a keen polished edge that I was worried that keen of a polished edge. Now, don't get me wrong, I laid it back, so the angle I put on it, would be not a fragile edge or anything like that, but it's obviously more fragile than if I didn't lay the angle back significantly. But I was worried with that low of an angle. I wondered, even though it is a tougher steel and everything else, I didn't know how the edge stability would be with it. And, the HRC from Megaron Knives, they said that they were running at like 58 to 60 or 58, 59, something like that. But when you look up that steel, you can put a higher HRC on it than regular D2, like 64 HRC or something like that, 62 to 64. Breeze ain't gonna be happy when yeah, definitely. Don't forget to hit the likes, dummies. Breeze ain't here, but we still need those likes. He told me to make sure to remind you guys that just because he's not here doesn't mean you guys don't have to drop a like. So next thing, 4V on small knives. So recently we got the Kaisers. The Kaiser came out with 3 knives in 4V. The Feist, the Mini Begleiter 2, and the Mini Sheepdog, right? For a really good price, $109. Now, that price is going to stand until December 31st. So, crazy deal. Also, I messed up the other day in that video. Those Kaiser deals, the 20% off is at all places for Kaisers. So all the knife dealers, Knife Center, Blade HQ, White Mountain Knives, all of them are going to be up to 20% off for all Kaisers, up to. So if you guys are wanting to get a Kaiser, look around and see where it's giving the best deal. I messed up and said it was only from Kaiser's website when they asked me, or when they told me about it. That's how I took it. I took it was from their website. Anyways, 4V on a little knife. does it do you any justice? Right? Does it do you any justice? This was another thing me and Triple B talked about a little bit. And regardless of what he has to say, what I'm going to say is that one thing, 4V is a very tough steel, right? You're not going to get the toughness so much out of it. However, being a small blade, you know, it's kind of like with steel, right? If you want a tough steel, you can increase the thickness or increase the steel, the toughness in the steel. So, you know, there is that, you know, it's like obviously the thicker you make steel, the tougher it's going to be, the stronger it's going to be, so on and so forth. Or the better the steel, or the tougher, I should say, the steel is, the more it's going to go up. Well, in this case, it is a thin, small blade. So having the 4V is going to make it tougher, right? Now, another thing is the type of blade shape it is. And this is one thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about, is steel choice for the blade shape. And I'm not saying that I know the answer to this, right? I'm not saying I know the answer to this. This is more of a mystery to me too. I guess I can only think about it and wonder, right? And I have my what I would think, right? But not saying it's true or not, but I have my assumptions. But certain steels for certain blade shapes, is there something to that? Is there anything to, now obviously the grind, the thickness, the grind thickness, the thickness behind the edge, all of that is going to play a part too. But are there certain steels that are better for certain blade shapes? Like, say, a sheep's foot, right? With a blade shape like this, or let's say a Warncliffe too. You're going to be doing lots of utility cuts, right? So the tip of the blade is going to be taking a lot of the work, right? A lot of the work. And let's just say whatever blade shape that you're going to be doing utility cuts with, and the tip is going to be taking the most damage. Now, would steels with really good edge stability do great with that, or tough steels? Because you're being really tough on the tip, you know, not wanting it to chip or anything like that. And then that, you know, that has a lot to do with edge stability. So I'm curious if there is something to that with different steel choices for specific blade shapes. But this being a small knife, you're still going to get, let's talk about the 4V now. 4V in a little knife, because people were saying like, well, that's not doing it any justice being a small knife. Well, that's not true, because just because you're not going to be able to get all the toughness out of this because you don't really have the opportunity, it's too small of a knife, you're still going to get 4V's amazing edge retention. 4V has insane edge retention. So you're still going to get the benefits out of that. And since it's coated, you're not going to have to worry about the corrosion problems, right? So you're going to get amazing edge retention, right? Amazing edge retention. And it is, if it was a different blade shape, I'd say you could be a little tougher on it, but being the blade shape it is, I don't know, but maybe you won't wear it on the tip as bad with 4V. Possibly. But aside from that, the assumptions, you're still going to get amazing edge retention out of it. So, like, say if I said it was going to be 20 CV or something, right? You're looking at that saying, I'm going to get good edge retention from it. But you're also getting stain resistance. Well, in this case, you're not going to get the stain resistance, but it's coated. So it's still a super steel in this little blade, and you're not going to be able to get the toughness out of it, but you're still going to be able to get a lot out of it. So this is still an amazing steel for this little knife. Would it do a bigger knife maybe a little bit more justice? Yeah, possibly, but maybe not, because what are you wanting to get out of this knife? You're wanting to get amazing edge retention. That's what you're going to want out of this, and that's what you'll get. So you're going to get the benefits of a super steel out of something like this. And 4V takes a really good edge too. So you're going to have, there's going to be a lot of benefits to it. How does Kaiser's N690 do for edge retention? I'm thinking about buying a Gracioso for Dad as a Christmas present. Well, I would say it does it does just fine for the price. It's not an end all be all steel, but it's a good steel. It's a well-rounded steel. It's easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, good stain resistance, and it holds an edge pretty good. I don't think you'll see it do any better than a good 440C or a VG10. You know, I would that's where I would line it up with. I'd line it up with VG10. So um I think it's just fine for the price you're gonna get it at. Now, I wouldn't say pay an extreme price for it. Now, other places and other companies could heat treat it differently, maybe, or something. I'm sure there is something to that. But for the knives you're talking about, you're going to get good edge retention for the price. And it takes a really good edge, too. That's another thing. It does get really, really sharp. Today, let's talk about a couple of knives I sharpened today before we move forward, because man, we got a lot to talk about. So I sharpened Megaron's S90V. And obviously I'm going to talk more about it and get more in depth in the review, but it did take a good mirror polished edge. It did get ridiculously sharp. Now the question is, because it's S90V, is it going to hold it? Is it going to get the crazy good edge retention the S90V should get? This is Megaron's first time ever using S90V. So I'll be honest, I don't have the highest expectations for it. It's their first time using it. Now, do I think it's going to do bad? No, but I don't expect them to knock it out of the park the first time they ever use it. Do you know what I mean? Like, really think about that. So, hopefully whatever recipe they are supposed to be going by, they did a good job on. We'll see. Hopefully it did pretty good. It sharpened up really good. It feels really good. It felt good on the stone. So all those things are good. Now we just need to see after doing some cutting. Let's see how it does. I did talk to them about their choils and their plunge grinds. I'll probably talk a lot more about that in the review, but I did speak to them about that stuff. Next thing, my uncle's knife. So I chose, like I said in the video, I chose to, I'm going to give him the choice between a Civivi Elementum and the Civivi bow. So I sharpened both of them up. This one's in Nitro V. I put a polished edge on it. This one's in D2. I put a 600 grit edge on it. Both of them are redonkulously sharp. All right, Mom, I love you. Good night, Mom. Oh, yeah, those Dectalith knives were some of the most interesting knives I've seen this year. Really cool stuff. Hope they do drop for Christmas. They're supposed to. They are supposed to drop. Man, I think they were supposed to drop by in November. So they should be any time. Really, they should be any time. I will keep an update on it. I will talk to them again. The last I spoke to them about the Dectalith knives, they were finishing the clips because they changed the deep carry clip to a titanium clip. I'm not sure if it's a titanium deep carry clip. I haven't seen the clips, but that's what they were doing. They said it was their fault. Kaiser said it was on them, and they were changing out the clips. Does your uncle like black coated blades? No, not necessarily, but I wanted to get, because I'm worried about corrosion. You know, he's a construction guy. He's a mechanic. He's he has the chance of possibly not oiling it consistently and just letting it go. I don't doubt that he won't clean it, but Nitro V is a good stainless, so I'm not so worried about Nitro V. But this is just the way it came. But with D2, I don't want to give him a regular D2 because I almost ordered the green micarta one, but I cannot find it with the black coated blade. I can only find it with the satin finish. So, and now it's Wednesday already now. I would have ordered it on Monday. So I figured I'll just give him that one, and then if he chooses this one, I'll reorder another one. Because I have multiples of the Elementum. This is brand new, and it says Neevesknives on it. But this one, I have to replace if he picks it. I am Jeremiah, but stay tuned. We have a topic coming up about multi-tools. Not maybe exactly what you're talking about, but just stay tuned. We got a good one coming up. Hopefully Talik is in here because I haven't seen him yet. Because I want to need him to chime in. I was looking at the Artisan Proponent. Looks huge but cool. Yeah, it is huge. It's not as practical of a knife as most knives, but it's cool though. I got one. It's a cool knife, but yeah, it's not crazy practical. Jared's going to send you some packs. Just ordered an Elementum button lock. Awesome. Yeah, I got a couple of them. I've been trying to give this one away, but nobody will choose it. But yeah, I got a couple of them. Speaking about button locks, we got the Big Daddy Hoss Vandal here. Now, the thing with this thing, all right, I figured out why the detent is so incredibly strong on this thing. It's insanely strong. And I know the first batches came with too strong a detents, and they're going to work it out for the second batch. I know how to fix it. So, it has nothing to do with the spring. It has everything to do with excuse me. If I can get you guys to look at this, it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try to get you guys to. So I'm going to go close up to you guys, okay? Look at the tang of the blade that's going down. So you're going to see that part going down right there? Okay, well, when it clicks in, you're going to see the plunge, the part that's hooked to the button right there, the plunge that's moving back and forth on the inside of the knife. That is going to lock into the part that's right here. Okay, so that part that's literally right there, that is what is catching, that's making it so strong. So where that falls in at, if you take sandpaper or Dremel, whatever, and just chamfer it, and I mean a tiny bit, a tiny bit. You might have to put it together 2 or 3 times, and you don't want to make it bigger. You just want to just angle it just a tiny bit. It will give it the ability to push it out of the way easier. Because right now what's happening is it's almost like it's trying to push it over a corner rather than a ramp, right? So instead of the plunge pushing a ramp out of the way, it's pushing a corner out of the way, which is making it incredibly hard to open. All right, so next topic. I got a new dolman. I did not do a first impressions or anything on it. I'll say this right now. It's got some issues. One, the detent is it's so strong. Like most people should just return it. It's that strong. I mean, it's painfully strong. The thumb studs are too small and too sharp for this strong of a detent. Now, if it was big, tough thumb studs like the Tucson TS301, I would be fine with this, but they're not. They're smaller thumb studs, and I can't take them out and put bigger thumb studs in there because the thumb studs stop on the liners. Yes, it also has an internal stop pin on the inside, but the thumb studs also act as a stop pin. So that's one thing. The detent is just so strong. Like you don't even want to flick it open more than like 3 or 4 times. You'll start hurting yourself. It's very strong. I mean, you can actually hear it. Now, the first thing I would tell somebody is there's a burr around the hole, right? Most likely that would be the thing. I don't know if that's the case. I looked at the hole without taking it apart with my my little jeweler's loupe, and I don't see a burr around it. Does that mean there's not? No, because it's a very small thing. A micro burr around the edge of the hole is very tiny. However, it doesn't look like it. I think if you look at the detent, the detent drops all the way inside the detent hole. Now, a lot of detent balls don't fall all the way inside the hole. A lot of them fall 3/4 of the way. So depending on how strong, there's a couple different ways they can do a detent. So when a company is doing a detent and they're trying to make the detent well tuned, well, they can choose to have the detent ball fall all the way in the hole, partially in the hole, 3/4 of the way. Now, sometimes why they might not want it to fall all the way in the hole is because if the hole is too big and the detent goes all the way in the hole, you have a chance of detent lash, right? It has a chance of rattling on the inside if it's too big. So having it be just big enough to where the ball fits in there, but not all the way in there, makes it fit nice and snug, right? And it stops it from being so difficult to get out. Now, however, this one goes all the way in that hole. So, since it goes all the way in the hole, I think a lot has to do with the lock bar strength on this one. So this one, I think if I backed the lock bar strength off a little bit and just gave it a little bit of a bend, I think it would tune itself. However, another thing is this thing has hella lock stick. Like, it's pretty bad. So fresh from the factory, I literally just got it. Now that I can just sand down. I would take the lock bar and literally just sand down the top of it, and not even far, just a little time. You wouldn't even notice I took anything off. That's how little I would do. And I think after that, I think it'd be a good knife. I think the ergos are really nice. It doesn't have a deep carry clip, so it feels really nice in the hand. Um, nice and slicey, good geometry. There's a lot of potential here. And this is the first large Doman I've tried. I used to have the mini Doman, but as far as the big Doman, I like it a lot. And yes, I could have just sent it back and made them replace it, but I can fix everything that I'm naming. But most people, yeah, if your knife came like this, just send it back. And I like a strong detent. So this is on another level of strong. This is you're gonna hurt yourself strong. All right. So next thing. Remember, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, or knife topics you want to talk about, always just leave them in the chat. You can say my name and hopefully I see it. You can leave a donation. I might see it better. But I'm joking. But I'll see it and then we'll talk about the topic you guys are interested in. So this next topic, well, I want to talk about factory edges and what you do if you get one that's not so good. Let's say you get a factory edge. Well, first question is should you do anything to a factory edge? When you first get a knife, you first get it fresh from the factory. Should you do anything about the edge? Meaning if everything's okay with it, it's a sharp edge, whatever, should you do anything to it right when it shows up? Well, I would say yes. So first thing I would do, and the reasons why I'm saying this is because you don't know, right? That's kind of the thing is there's an unknowing with a factory edge. One, you don't know how a lot of things, but you don't know like how they deburred it. Most likely they threw it on a buffing wheel. You don't know how fast their belt was going, if it's burnt, if it's not, what grit they took it to. Usually they do about 300 grit, 300 to 400 grit factory edge, but some of them take it much higher, like much higher. I've seen some do a damn near polished edge, but that's usually from the buffing they do trying to remove the burr. Jason, hey man, I see it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. You heard my whispers. Thank you, man. That's awesome. And yes, I did see it. So, first thing I would do now this is the if you get it and it doesn't look polished, right? If you do see it's polished, you could still do this, but it's a little different. So, your approach is a little different. So, I would say when you first get it, your knife, let's say it's not polished, you just get it and it's just a regular factory edge, nothing special. Take and strop it lightly, just lightly. Now If it is polished, I would say make sure your abrasive is fresh on your strop. Jack's lungs. Testing to see if you see it. Oh, I see it. Thank you, man. Jack's lungs with the cigarette. Thank you, man. I appreciate it so much, man. I always appreciate the donations. We are under our monthly amount that we're trying to stay over right now. So I always really appreciate it, but I extra appreciate it right now. But fresh compound, and I say fresh compound because if it's a polished edge and it's slick, everybody's had that. At least if you've had a lot of knives, you get a factory edge and it's slick. You could just rub it like it's not sharp, right? It'll cut paper, but there's no bite to it. So get fresh compound on your strop. Fresh compound. The reason why you want fresh compound is because you want the abrasive to be basically extra crunchy. I know that's a weird statement, but you're wanting that abrasive to cut teeth in to the edge. You literally want, because the compound, it's basically like microscopic rocks. Think about it like that. Microscopic rocks. It's little tiny rock pebbles, right? And you put it on there. And then when your edge goes over it, those little microscopic rocks are chipping away the very tip of the apex, creating serrations, basically microscopic serrations, little tiny teeth. Gregory, thank you, bud. Sharpen that new knife, Jared. Sharp. First thing, no excuses. Now, what did you have? Yes, well, I would say, of course, right? That would be the best thing to do. And we're actually going to get to that in 1 second, Gregory. You're jumping ahead, Greg. You're jumping ahead. But thank you, man, for the donation. I appreciate it. So let the abrasives on the strop from the fresh compound go over or under the factory edge. You don't want to do too much, just enough to put some new teeth on that stupid slick edge. Now here's the thing. They're going to go away quick. It's not going to last long because it's buffed. And like Gregory was saying already, you're probably not going to be too happy with it. So most likely you're going to want to just put a brand new fresh edge on it. You don't have to. You can get away with it for a while. But it's better if you get an edge that's not overly buffed. So if you got just a regular edge, then when you come straight from the factory, only do a couple passes, no more than a couple passes per side. Get it and just give a couple strops. Now, the reason why I'm saying to do that with a fresh factory edge that does have bite and does seem like it's a good edge is because a lot of times there will be like microscopic steel particles connected to the edge still. And what can happen is it won't feel as sharp as it actually is. Hey, Willow! Didn't see any from Maurice. Yes, Maurice is he's watching afterwards. He's still watching the channel and everything. He's taking a little bit of a break. He's got some personal things going on. He's just taking a little breakity break. But thank you for the donation, Willow. Thank you for backing Maurice up. I appreciate it. So where was I? Oh yeah. So the factory edge, right? You don't know how, if they just took it fresh off the belt or how they did it. So what you're going to do is you're basically cleaning up, making sure there's no extra metal particles hooked to the edge that when you start cutting that wind up getting ripped off, right? Instead of properly removed. And, it just kind of tunes it up a little bit. It can kind of help. You don't know what they did or didn't do with the factory edge. And let's be real, most factory edges suck. Not all. Some are good, but Ken, thank you, brother. I have a theory about burnt edges. I get new edges put on all my knives. Plus, I like 17-degree edges. So, Ken Harris. So that's the next thing I would say is that a lot of people do like to get the most out of the factory edge, and you can always sharpen, right? in the future. So as soon as your factory edge is not burnt like a burnt edge, but just burnt up from being used, you're just using it so much, well, then you can always sharpen it later, right? You always can do that. Donation dollars. Thank you. Cue ball. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. But when you get an edge, if it's not that good, if it's not that great, put a new edge on it, because the chances of you doing much justice to a factory edge that is bad, like that's actually bad, like one that's not good, not likely. You can hone it, but it's not going to do it much justice. In the honing of it, it's not going to last very long. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that even if you did use the strop, yes, it will improve your edge. When you start using it, it will go back to shit really quick. So the Megaron knives, their factory edges suck. I'm sorry. To Megaron Knives, I do like what they're doing. I think their knives are good, but their factory edges suck, man. They do. I haven't had a factory edge from Megaron yet that I like. I've seen them improve a little bit, but I think they know. I think they know that they're not doing the best edges. They're trying, but I've the last 3 knives I've gotten from them, not happy with the edges at all. It'll cut paper, but they're so bad. They're so bad. They just suck. And I did everything I just said. You know, I stropped the one. It did get a little bit better, but the second I started using it, it just went right back to crap. But like I said, if you have a good factory edge, I would keep it going for as long as possible, unless if you really, really want it like nasty sharp. But you know, stropping it will do a lot of justice if you have fresh compound. I think people let their strops go a little too far sometimes without without putting new abrasive on it. The difference between a strop that has worn compound versus fresh compound is like, I mean, the abrasive that you're using that's on the compound, that is what you want. You want those little microscopic rocks. If you've used it a lot, they're smashed. They're smashed and mixed up with steel, basically. They're steel and smashed rocks all mixed together, and that's why it looks slick and like dark. Derek Goodman, thank you, man. You guys got my number going up. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It's sharp, it's tough. Sharpen one knife. Okay, now do that for 500 a day. It's tough. Sharpen one knife. I don't know what you mean. I do. I sharpen 3 knives a day normally. You know, obviously, not every single day. Some days I do have to take a break. Sometimes 2 days in a row. It depends on my schedule, but on average, I do about 3 knives a day. Love you too, Derek. Thank you. My live comedy special airs well now. Uh-oh. Pound the freaking like button. Thank you, Snuzz. Yes, hit that like button. How do you get old compound off? Okay, so with old compound, there's different ways to do it, but just an easy way. Take an old shitty knife, right? Just an old shitty knife that you don't care about. A real hard use knife, right? One that would be considered a throwaway knife, and just scrape it. Scrape it off, scrape it back. This is what I do. Scrape it back and forth. You can take a razor blade if you want to and scrape it back and forth. You're basically just like just shaving a layer off. That's not, or there's another way. You can. Ian, thank you. There it goes. Since all the other cool kids are doing it, here's 5 more bucks. Thank you. Thank you. All of you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ian. You guys are awesome, man. The best dummies around, man, are on Neevesknives Live. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, but another way I do it is I use sandpaper. You can use really aggressive sandpaper and sand it off, but it clogs up the sandpaper really quick, and you don't want to use wet sandpaper. So if you do use sandpaper, just know that, that's why it's sometimes easier just to scrape it first, then use sandpaper. You can do that, or you just scrape it, and then after you scrape it off, some people like to use Vaseline with their stropping compound. It helps it mix around. The problem is it takes a while to dry, quite a while. So I just do it dry. I just take my stropping compound afterwards, after I'm done cleaning it, and I just wipe it back on. If it's the crayon-like stuff, if it's the compound, the stuff that's in a block, that's how I do it. I have not tried the gunny juice yet. I use gunny juice for stropping. Works so good. Also great for polishing washers. I haven't tried the gunny juice yet. I do want to try it. I've got a lot of different compounds though. Over a dozen different compounds. I've got sprays, I've got pastes, I've got compounds, I've got diamond, I've got aluminum oxide, I've got a lot of compounds. But yeah, when you start seeing it get slick like this, no good. You want you can keep layering it for a while, because remember, the abrasive is what you're using. Not necessarily the leather. The leather is a great place to put it, and the leather creates like a cushion for the blade to go over that's not going to damage it. Thank you, Mason. Love you too, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Scott, you guys are fucking going crazy tonight. Thank you, Scott. Apologies. FedEx should have delivered packs today. Hopefully tomorrow. It's all good, man. I know they're a little late today. They were late on something else too. Thank you though, man. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome, man. So awesome. But the leather is a good place, and it's good for the edge because it's a soft place to put the abrasive, and it's not going to damage the edge going back and forth over it. Meaning stropping it. So putting the abrasive on here, layering it. Of course, eventually you do want to clean it off eventually, but you can keep layering it for quite a while. Now, most likely, the more you layer it, the less longer or the shorter life it's going to have, because the abrasives are kind of just hitting smashed into the old abrasive, and having a fresh surface will make sure the abrasives are at the surface. Because when it breaks down, now it's just like paste, and the paste ain't doing anything. It's the abrasives that are in the paste. But if the abrasives are pushed down into the stuff, well, they're not going to do much justice. You want them at the top, at the surface, right? So making sure you have abrasives at the surface, fresh, for you to to scratch the very apex of your edge, is very important. So yeah, make sure you keep nice fresh compound on there. How long should it last? Right? How long should compounds last? So now this is the thing, is that different companies, different qualities, just like anything, right? You're gonna get what you pay for. If you buy a cheap compound, it's probably gonna last way less long as a good quality one. And the abrasive probably isn't as good and probably not as effective. I've gotten like 5 different brands of the green compound, and well, more than that, but I just mean like out of 5, like 2 out of 3 are really good. So I've definitely got I've got compounds still right now. Do they work? Yeah, but I would never use them as long as I have other stuff, because they're nowhere near as good as my other compounds. And they're just cheap. They were kind of like, oh, you're buying a strop? Well, here's some compound too. That type of deal, where they just kind of throw it in with the strop. But when you get good quality of stuff, it works way better, it's way more effective, and it lasts a lot longer. Now, aluminum oxide compound, when you do your strop, it's going to last. See, this is kind of a weird thing to talk about, because if it's fresh on a leather strop and the leather strop is new, meaning the leather's fresh and you just put it on there, it'll probably work for a month or so. I hate to say a month or so because who knows how much you strop in a month, but let's say 20 times, right? 20 stroppings, 30 stroppings, maybe more. But when you start loading it up and you start covering it and covering it, each time you cover it, it's going to last less long. So say if it was fresh and I put the compound on and I've used it, and now I've put one more layer on top of that, that's not going to last as long as the first time when it was fresh and I just put the compound on there. And the more I do that, the less longer it's going to last. So yes, you can keep doing it, but every time you do it, it'll wind up getting to the point to where it lasts like 3 stroppings. Like that's what this one's at right now. This one I can put abrasive on there and I can probably get about 3 to 5 knives out of it before I need to put new abrasive on there per side. So on this side, I get about 3 to 5 knives stropping on here before I have to go to this side. Then, after that, then I need to put another layer of abrasive over it. But it's also because I need to clean it. So, it's not just a number you can just say this is how many, but you get a good idea of how it kind of works and when you should replace it, and also how often you should put new abrasive on there. Don't be afraid to put some new abrasive on there as long as it's a thin layer. Just don't put a thick layer because a thicker layer is not going to do you any better than a thin layer. A thick layer will not do it any better than a thin layer. Remember that. 100 I spent. Okay, let me scroll down. How careful do you need to be regarding cross-contamination? Okay, so cross-contamination will be you have to be careful if you're talking about a mirror edge, right? Literally, if you are dealing with mirror edges that are so beautiful that you do not want any type of scratch in it whatsoever, then I would say keep that strop that's specifically for those edges away from all your other stuff. So put it in a bag, put it someplace where it can be protected from other stuff, because yes, there is cross-contamination, but you'll never see the effects of cross-contamination unless if it boils down to that type of edge. Because like say a 600 grit edge, right? It's not going to matter if I use my green compound or any compound. It's not gonna hurt it. It's not gonna scratch it or do any damages. But if I have a mirror edge and it's beautiful, I gotta make sure. And like, let's say my mirror edge is 1 micron. Just throwing a number out there. I can't strop it now with 3 micron because I'm going to put 3 micron scratches on top of a 1 micron polished edge. I have to go less than that. So my stropping compound should be, 0.25 micron. So like a quarter of a micron. Is Canada in here, guys? But you do have to be careful with cross-contamination. Like, so if we're talking about stones now, that's another story. I gotta catch up. Everyday EDC. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Oh man, you just saying that. You say that to all the knife reviewers. Thank you though. Now cross-contamination with stones. Does it matter? It can. It can. So like, let's say you have a 200 grit stone with big diamonds. You don't want those diamonds getting on your strop. So in that case, yes, cross contamination from your stones to your strop, that's a huge thing. You don't want your stones and your strop touching each other unless you don't care. Like, put it this way, there's some strops I don't care. I really don't care. If one of my diamonds get on it, I don't give a shit, because I'm not using that strop ever for a mirror edge. I'm only using that strop for toothy edges. So if a diamond does get on it, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It's going to leave a mark on my edge that already has a scratch pattern in it. It's not going to make a difference. You'll never see it. Now, if I start getting to mirror edges now and I use that strop and it happens to have one of my 100, 200 grit diamond plate diamonds on it, then yeah, it's going to scratch the shit out of it. And I'm going to have to go all the way back down in stones, because to get a 200 grit diamond mark out of a mirror edge, it's gonna, it's not, you're not just gonna be able to strop it out. You can't just strop that out. Everyday EDC again. What does it say? Yo, working on an edge right now. I forgot what you said about grit level on 20 CV. So with 20 CV, it depends on the heat treat. Usually 20 CV does good all the way up to a polish. Now you're gonna see, because this is the thing with 20 CV, is it's not like a lot of steels where it's just a great number. Where like some steels you could say, oh, it does good between 600 grit and 1200 grit. 20 CV and M390 is not like that. 20 CV and M390 theoretically does really good with a mirror polished edge, or anywhere between 600 grit and 10,000 grit. However, because sometimes companies do it soft, because they have a hard time heat treating it, you have the potential, if it has a soft heat treat, to want to keep it around a lower grit. Like if you notice when you get past 1200 grit, if it feels like it's starting to fall off, if it feels like the aggression on the edge feels like it's just like dropping instead of going up, that, and I don't mean aggression like I just mean the bite, right? Because if you have good edge stability and you're sharpening your edge, you're trying to get it really fine, and that level of keenness for the apex that just keep growing basically, and it just gets thinner and thinner and grows and grows and grows. If it's, at a good hardness and the heat treat's good, it should keep going, up into your polish and everything else. Now, if the edge stability is bad and it has a softer heat treat, it's most likely going to get to a certain point and chip off. And I'm doing this like referencing an edge, an apex, right? This is the tip of the apex, the tip of my fingers. So you're trying to basically like stretch that out to the very longest, like tip you can. But if the edge stability isn't good, it basically just chips off. And then now you're back left with this instead of it growing a little bit more, right? You're back to this, and you'll start getting a little finer, and then bam, it'll go back. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. But so just depends on the heat treat. But if you do feel like at a polished edge, if you're trying to go to a polished edge, if you're trying to go to a polished edge and you feel like it's not keeping that nasty bite that you want from a polished edge, drop it back down and keep it between 600 and 1200 grit, and you'll make sure you have your bite, and it'll be a damn good edge for 20 CV. But 20 CV in most cases does really good with whatever grit you want to put on it. But just so many companies are doing it all across the board. Like you'll have some companies doing it at 59 HRC, some companies at 60, some at 61, some at 57, And M390, it's a massive difference. That's another thing. It's a massive difference between 57 and 60. Huge difference. Between 60 and 61, huge difference. So it just kind of depends. What company can we just trust their heat treat always? None. None unless if they're doing it in small batches. Okay, so like Medford, he treats all his knives in small batches, and he does an HRC test like every 5 knives. So, custom heat treaters and small batch companies. Any large production company, you can't just fully trust. They're going to, even on some cases, small batch production companies are going to have some variables and mistakes. It's just not possible. And they're doing their best. They're not trying to screw anybody over. They're literally trying to do the best they can. It's just, in order for them to bring you a knife at X amount of dollars with the build quality and the fit and finish that they have, you got to think about it. We're getting a lot for our money right now. Like, it's amazing what we're getting right now. Even when we're talking about heat treats and steels, and we're always wanting better, right? Companies will push it to the limit, and we'll be like, well, we want it better. You know what I mean? So they do their best, but it's not always going to be perfect, you know. I would say though, if you want the highest potential of getting a good heat treat, I go with Reat. We does a really good job. We does a really good job, in my opinion. TRM does a good job. Spyderco of recently does a good job, in my opinion. So Spyderco of maybe 2 years ago to now, maybe a year ago to now, they've been doing a lot better job. Oh, Talica's in here just in time because we're about to talk about a new multi-tool. I traded a Norseman today for a Stone Wash DLC Black XM24 Sponto 20 CV. What? You already traded that thing? Man, I thought that was your baby. You just got it. Holy cow, that was quick, man. That was too quick. N690, VG10, and 154 CM are all similar, so don't know why it gets a bad rap. Yeah, I mean they are to an extent. Is Worksharp's compound any good? Their stropping compound? I don't know. I've only tried enough the stuff that they give, so I can't say, to be honest. I've only tried the stuff that they've put on their leather already. I've never tried their actual compounds. So I can't say for sure, to be honest. From the strops that I've gotten from them, it seemed fine. It didn't seem like it was bad or anything. I only use denim. That is 100% cotton. I haven't tried the ones with. I actually just recently made a 100% cotton denim strop. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna put it in a video soon. I don't know if I'll do a whole video on it, but I'm at least gonna put it in some videos and talk about it. Excuse me. Do you think knife reviews are impacting knife availability much? Seems like we all like the same things, and some get hard to get. Absolutely. I mean, it's going to. A knife review. Okay, a knife that is of high demand. One, there's going to be certain companies that are already of high demand. Then there's going to be the designs that are of high demand for that moment. What's in style? What is the big thing right now, right? So when a knife maker or designer designs a knife that fits those things, and a reviewer reviews it and says, man, this thing is awesome, yeah, people are going to buy it up faster. So yeah, they absolutely do. And that is why companies send us knives, whether even if it's like good or bad. That's why they'll take the chance, because they have the chance of the reviewer saying it's good. It's a win-win for them. If the reviewer says it's bad, it's not a win-win. It's a loss for them. It's bad, but they're willing to take that shot because they figure that people that don't watch the knife reviews will buy it, and the people that watch the knife reviews, they had the chance with them or not. I was having such bad internet with that Canadian knife around. Is that what it was? Is that what it was? Your internet went to shit? That's funny, man. That's funny. Hilarious. Kaiser's N690 done well. I think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I've sharpened, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many times, but I've sharpened it a lot. I couldn't tell you how many knives. And I've always thought it was pretty good. I'll say that after you sharpen it at a very high grit, if you do put a polish on there, it takes a really good polish. It takes a very keen polished edge. Now, it doesn't hold that keenness for very long, but there's a lot of steels that do that. So it's not like just N690 falls into that realm, but it's like that, where it takes a nice keen edge, but after you start using it, that keen edge, and that's edge stability. That's what that is. When you have the keenness from an edge, that's the edge stability. So, and it's not saying N690's edge stability is horrible. It's not saying that, because a lot of knives will do that, especially when you're talking about going up to such a high micron. You know, steels, a lot of steels, they hold like an amazing working edge, but they might not hold an amazing fine edge. Well, N690 takes a good fine edge, but it might not necessarily hold it for very long. But it'll hold a good working edge for a good, a good bit. And if you're worried about not if you're worried about that, then just don't polish it. Don't polish it. Put a 600 grit edge on there. You'll continue to have great bite because you'll have a more aggressive edge. But I do think they're doing a decent job with it, though. My old Benchmade Mini Striker is 154 cm. It used to be premium. Yeah, 154 cm used to be premium. Yeah, for sure. My first Benchmade was 154 cm. If you go to your Instagram, you can pull up in our messages the knife I traded. It looks good. Let's check it out. So, because there's also something else I want to talk about while you're here, because we're going to talk about, did you get my message, Talica, about that multi-tool? Hopefully you did. All right. Ooh. Let's check it out, guys. Let's check it out. All right, let me share this. Share screen. All right, let's check out Talica's new baby. Let me get his message off. So here is Talica's new knife. We got some. Oh, it's jade green. I thought that was lime green. That's jade green. So you can dye that any color you want. That's cool. It almost looked like a lime green, but that's actually raw G10, jade green G10. So that has the ability to change whatever color you want. I know I'm planning on doing, I sent my new Kubi to Lefty EDC because I know he's going to like that new Kubi, that 331, and he usually returns the knives pretty quick. So I'll have it in plenty of time to do my review. And I'm probably going to dye it purple. That's what I'm thinking. Bright purple. Why? I don't know why. Just cause. But scroll all the way down. Okay, so Talica. I scrolled all the way down to the comments. So if somebody left a comment and I did not see it, and it's in between my last comment and now, just say it again. Say it again, and I promise we will talk about it. I can't go through them all without catching up. The riffle is an amazing knife, but if I were you, I'd get in the 14C28N. I have it, and that's a great steel. The Damascus is good, though. I'd go 14C2, absolutely, because I feel, and I've tested it. I did a controlled edge retention test on the 14C28N. It got 223 feet. With the working edge, and it was still sharp as hell. Like, it was still very sharp. That was just where it was starting to catch paper. So to most people, that would have been a perfectly acceptable edge. And if I would have stropped it, who knows how long it would have went for. So it got amazing results for 14C. Supposedly they're heat treating it at like 61 HRC, and it seems to be true. So I think they're doing a good job with it. What do you think of the Valona? I was actually the first one to review the Valona. You can watch my review. I like it. I think they did a good job with it. I had a couple complaints, but they're going to be making a 3.5-inch version soon, or, they're they're going to be making a 3.5 inch version because that one's like 4 inches. And I'm not sure. I'm hoping they're going to address a couple of the issues I mentioned, like where the stop pin lands and its plunge grind. But for that expensive of a knife, I mean, it's a very affordable knife. And if you want to know the edge retention you can expect from that DC53 steel, go and check out All Things Knives. All Things Knives did a cut test on the DC53 steel. Now, that same knife that was tested is going to be being sent to Outpost 76. So you can expect Outpost 76 to be doing a cut test video on the DC53 steel soon. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now, Talica, actually, right now. Hold on a second. OS 8 has the same edge retention as most 20 CV and M390. You're being lied to. It's all in the heat treat. It's definitely all in the heat treat, but I wouldn't say it has the same edge retention as 20 CV and M390. If M390 and 20 CV is heat treated correctly, then it will way outperform OS 8. But yeah, if it's heat treated shit, like shit, then yeah, it's going to have similar edge retention to like S30V or no, even less than that. It depends, because if it's really shit, you're going to get like 154 cm or less edge retention out of it, and maybe even worse. But yeah, if it's done decent, then you're going to get, if it's done decent, you're going to at least get S30V edge retention. Now, if it's done good, like really good, then it outperforms all that. Like it does, like it gets really good edge retention. So yeah, it all falls on the heat treat. So Calica, I want you right now, while I'm looking this up, I'm going to look something up, and I want you to explain what we're talking about with the new multi-tool. You explain the new multi-tool. I am going to look something up. So Medford has a new multi-tool coming, and he's going to explain it, and I'm going to try to find it really quick. Hopefully I can find it like really fast while he's explaining what I'm going to pull up. It's not in here, is it? All right, I know what I can do. Trying to find the company. There it is. Got it. All right. So this is a new multi-tool that Medford is going to be making. I guess he just started a new company. Talica has all the details on it more than I do, and I'm going to pull up his comment in 1 second. I'm just going to share this with you guys. So here it is, and let me pull up some of what Talica is saying. This new multi-tool is being made. What the heck just happened? Sorry, guys. All right, this new multi-tool is being made by Medford. It's called Ask Knife on Instagram. Greg did a live stream the other day explaining it. And I'm going to scroll through in 1 second. Thank you, Talica, for doing all this. Greg said the first run will be S45 VN steel on all the tools and the blade. After the first run, they will switch to MagnaCut. Now, let's take a little gander at it. Now, you can see, here it is. It has a hollow ground blade. I think he's going to be doing other blade shapes in the future. But as of right now, we have what looks like a Tonto. It's kind of like a Tonto drop point, but it has a 2 tools and then a blade. I think it's going to be, we're going to try to find a video of the blade. I think there is one. Let me scroll down a little bit. These look very cool, though. We're going to see a real live version, so don't worry, ladies and gents. So here's one. You can see it's a little thick, a little beastly, but, you know, in a good way. It'll probably be a very durable multi-tool, something that you can actually use to do light-duty prying and things like that with. And you can expect, it seems that you can expect it to be a pretty tough multi-tool. Now, I know you guys didn't see anything there, but don't worry. We're going to check out some more stuff on it. So you can see there's a flag on the bottom, made in the USA. And you can see that it is a thick boy. Here's some of the blades. Oh no, there's spear points. I thought that one looked kind of like a Tonto, but let me go like this. Let me flip through like this. We just looked at that. So, okay, so looks like right there we have a Tonto and then like a Warncliffe. So I don't know, like maybe like the first batch will all have the same blade shape. I'm not sure. You can see those blanks right there. Let me see what this picture does, because there might be extra pictures. No, it's just that. That one has the one. This one's prying something up right there. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, it's the same one. Damn it. I'm trying to find one with the blade. So there we got, you can see a couple of tools. You got like a little pry bar there and then a bottle opener. Like you said, though, there's going to be other multi-tools available in the future, possibly where you can swap them out yourself. That would be probably the best way, in my opinion, if you could just do it yourself. I like this blade shape, a nice little warning like that. Oh yeah, they're all going to be hollow ground too. Let me see what Talika's saying, because he's probably explaining all this while I'm talking. I can't see any of you guys' comments right now, but it's very cool though, man. Oh shit. My thing just went haywire. I'm trying to pull this up. Here's a couple of the handles. You can see we got green micarta. I don't know what kind of micarta that is. Blue denim micarta, white G10, and then I'm guessing black G10. But very cool though. Very, very cool. Now let's see what Talika is saying. It has very nice half stops and is very it clicks very good when you open and close it like traditional knives. Which is cool, because having a half stop with those would be very nice. A $500 multi-tool. I think it's going to be $240. $240 for the standard version. And then you can always buy newer. Remember, it's S45VN on all the tools, including the blade. USA made. So 240, in my opinion, is a little high, but you also got to remember he does it in small batches, so you're going to get good heat treats. So you get what you pay for. You do. And he's got like an incredible warranty. And he's going to be offering other multi-tools in the future for you to possibly replace, you know, swap them out, right? And Talika was saying earlier, he's talking about making like specific ones for like fishermen, specific ones for like hunters, specific ones for these type of people, like kind of doing it like that, which I think is an incredible idea. Anyone who would like to see the edge retention test result, hit me up on Instagram. Be informed. By the way, December 3rd is the 24-hour live. I'm going on first. I will be going on at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time. So that will be December 3rd. Will be a 24-hour live after mine, OCD for EDC, and then so on and so forth. It's going to go all the way till the next morning. So I'll just tell you and show the link of the next person so you guys can all just click right from my video right to OCD for EDCs. Breeze made it safely. Awesome. They've been struggling with that damn like button, Breeze. They've been struggling with it. Oh shit, we got 111 likes. Maybe not. Looks like they were thinking of you. I know we mentioned it a couple times. Chris Reeves' website says S45 is similar to Almax. Is this true? I don't think so. Maybe other people do. I've only experienced it a couple times, so I can't, I'm not the best guy to say, to be honest. I think somebody who's done a controlled test would be the one to say. Sharpening it, I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying it's not better than S35 because I think it is. I did like it better than S35. I thought it sharpened up better. I thought it took a little bit of a keener edge. But me personally, I like Almax a little bit better. But I can't say on the controlled testing, though. So maybe I'm not the person that should be talking about it. Knives and other random crap. I was carrying, I showed it earlier, the Megaron Curix. But I got like 30 knives around me right now. But this is what I've been carrying today. This thing's gotten fall shut. When I opened it up, it wasn't fall shut. It was extremely smooth, but not fall shut. Now, it's fall shut. Like really good. Like really, really good. Be ready to sell your purple Hersey. No, I'm not ready to sell my purple Hersey yet. You don't need it. You have a rock stud. Good one. Good one. What do you guys think about Kubi using 14C28N? I think that's awesome. I don't know why. I did notice they charged a little bit more for this than they did their D2 knives. I'm wondering why, and I'm going to try talking to them about it, into just using their 14C. All these knives that they're producing that are just so damn amazing. Why are they not just doing 14C on all of them? I don't understand that. Why would you even use D2 if you have 14C at your factory? Maybe they didn't have a lot of it and they only had enough to do that small knife. I don't know, but this little knife is badass though. Dun, 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 dun. Jimbo, thank you for the donation. J Unit. Is it a G Unit? J Unit. Thank you. Stones, venev stones. If you guys, I was going to throw this into a video and I never got a chance to make it. I do have another work sharp video coming up. I have all the clips pretty much done for it. I have a couple little clips I'm going to make still, but these erasers, this is not a stone. It is, it's kind of like a sponge. You see how it's like bendy? You can buy one of these and they're really good for cleaning your venev stones. Now they're not going to do a deep cleaning or anything like that. For that, I recommend an aluminum oxide stone. Get an actual flattening stone. I have a big aluminum oxide stone that I've been using to clean my venevs, and then I use other aluminum oxides like to kind of finish them a little bit that are a little bit softer and not as abrasive. But these work really good in between cleanings, like in between flattening, in between like really doing a deep cleaning. If you're just trying to like get the metal particles off really quick and have a nice fresh surface, these things are like $5, but it's bendy and it works really good. Oh, I just seen it. Come on. Jared, is there a certain way to donate for the Knife Rights Marathon? Okay, so we're going to, I'm trying to think exactly how it's going to go. I'm going to donate a knife, right? And all the, how does it go? I'm going to donate a knife. That's one thing. So if you guys show up during the 24-hour live, I'm going to donate a knife. But there was something else. Like all the donations are going to be going to knife rights. I'm basically going to be announcing it where you can donate or something like that. So I'll figure that out. But yes, there is going to be a way for you to donate directly to knife rights. I'll probably just have the link or something to tell you guys. And but yes, that's what it's for. The 24-hour live is for knife rights. It's basically to bring awareness to knife rights. If you guys don't know, Doug Ritter, he is the founder of Knife Rights, and he has literally paved the way for our knife rights. You guys don't see it. Most of us don't even know, but there is so much work going on behind the scenes to protect our rights to carry knives and to give us the ability to carry knives in areas that are very liberal, right? Or whatever you want to call it, you know. So these places that literally strip our freedoms of carrying knives or never even have really given us the freedoms, or I guess would be stripped because we've always had freedoms, it's just some are stripped. Knife rights is protecting them and is fighting in court. All these places, he's literally gotten places that where you couldn't carry knives to where now you can, where you couldn't carry this kind of knife, but now you can. And he's fought the strong battle. So donating to them is your money is very much needed over at Knife Rights. Just like when you buy any type of Doug Ritter knife, portion of the profits go to funding Knife Rights. Zach, you son of a bitch. What's up, brother? Hey, great 24 stream. Got my block. Still on vacation. Much love, y'all. Do something kind for somebody. Yes, Zach will be going live as well during the 24-hour live. And yes, it's going to be awesome. Like I said, I will be going up at 5 p.m. Central Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, and shout out to Zach Stuff. Go and sub to his channel, you guys. Go and sub to his channel. The far. You guys are hilarious. Got my RSK Doug Ritter. Yes, so a portion of the money went to your knife rights. So congratulations. But no, I think it's awesome to support some of these companies, especially ones from Doug Ritter, who is fighting the good fight for us, because people don't realize, they just think like that they got it lucky. All right. Yeah, you are lucky to have somebody like Doug Ritter doing everything possible to keep your freedoms protected. No, thank you, Zach. Thank you. Oh, Saturday, guys. I will not be on Saturday. I will probably do a live on Sunday. It's my uncle's birthday on Saturday, so I'm going to be with family. But on Sunday, I will most likely, if not, then it'll just be on Wednesday. But I'm going to try to come back on Sunday. What should you do? Okay, we already did that one. Okay, we got word of the day, because we already passed all this stuff. I did want to do a great working utility knife, but looks like we're not going to be able to. Oh man, I really wanted to talk about that. We'll have to hold that one off. All right, so word of the day is carbides. Carbides. What is a carbide? What are carbides? Well, first of all, there are all different kinds of carbides. So that's first thing. All different kinds of carbides. But we're going to specifically talk about the carbides we're talking about in steels. We got a story, Snuzz. We got a story. We're just going to do word of the day, and then we'll get to story time. So, carbides. Compounds composed of carbon in steel. Most basic carbide in steel is an intermetallic compound formed in between iron and carbon called cementite. Carbides are hard and brittle, similar to ceramic. Now, I'm just going to break it down really simple. What are carbides used for in steel? Basically, to make your steel harder, better edge retention, things like that. But the more carbides you get in your steel, the less tougher it is, because with it being hard, it gets more brittle. So that's why we are trying to do a balancing act when we're talking about with steel and heat treats and everything like that. Obviously, I'm saying this in a very layman's way. Like, you could definitely explain it in a more scientific way, but it basically helps increase the edge retention, helps increase the hardness in the steel, making it harder, making the edges last longer, but with more carbides, especially when they're bigger. That's why we talk about powdered steels and stuff like that, because then you can take the carbides and break them down and make them finer, and then it helps increase the toughness while increasing the edge retention. That's how, some of these steels are done. But that is a quick way to talk about carbides. It's well, then also, next thing is, what is carburizing, right? What is carburizing? Carburizing is the process for producing a carbide coating on a metal surface. So when we talk about carburizing a lock bar, like Richie B and Lindy Lou do over at Knife Modders, they're doing a process of which they're putting a carbide coating on the lock bar, like on the titanium lock face, a thin layer. Why would they want to do that? Well, it helps take away lock stick, because the titanium will be softer, and the carbide, or the carburizing, it will make a harder surface in between the titanium and the tang of the blade. So when it is locked up and you have your lock bar engage, it'll create a harder surface in between the titanium and the blade. But that's also why you see lots of knives with steel lock bar inserts. The steel lock bar insert is basically doing the exact same thing. So now let's get to, man, we missed so many topics. All right, let's get to story time. All right, let's get the story time. Oh, yeah, guys, I got the new send cuts on the way. Woo, I'm excited about that. All right, is Canada in here, guys? Ah, that's hilarious. Taco Bell must put a lot of carbides in their menu items. Thank you, Cue Ball. Thank you. All right, so let me take my hit and take my drink really quick. But I do have the new Sun Cut knives on the way. I was kind of upset, man. I seen them at the last second, like, because it was only like, I don't know, like a week before I seen the new Sun Cut knives. They weren't up there. I didn't see them. I seen, just the ones that were of recent, and then all of a sudden, bam, these new guys popped up, and I was kind of upset, like, man, why didn't I know about these? Because I noticed Stasa 23, he got his before I got mine, and I'm thinking, like, man, he must knew about it a day before me. Mine should have been here today, but now it's going to be here between today and Saturday. It should be here probably tomorrow. Jimbo says, thanks for the well wishes, gentlemen. It will kill me one day, but till that day, it can suck my nuts. How do I sharpen S30 VPN2? Diamonds. That's what I use. I use diamonds. You don't have to use diamonds on S30V. S30V will sharpen up just fine on aluminum oxide or whatever stones you want to sharpen it on. It actually sharpens up pretty easily, in my opinion, but I prefer to use diamonds. It sharpens it up a lot quicker. It gives it a nice keen edge. S30V takes just about whatever edge you want to put on it. I like putting a polished edge on my S30V. or just a regular 600 grit edge. Both of them are very nicely. Now, if you're very tough on your S30V edge, you might not want to lay back the edge angle very far, because if you do lay back the edge angle very far, you could possibly get microchipping if you're going to do a polished edge. But, you know, it just depends on what type of edge you're going to put on it. I don't really have a problem with chipping or anything like that, but with my polished edges, and I do them about 17 degrees per side. So, but I either do a mirror polish with my S30V or a 600 grit. I don't usually ever do anything in between. That's personally with me. Most of which are 600 grit, and I have a few, you know, or so that are polished. All right, so story time. Totally unrelated. Did anyone else notice Amazon listing the ZTO 456 as in stock soon? I did not notice that. I did notice a donation though. D-Bass, Jared or Cara. I was trying to buy my girl her first knife for Christmas. Any suggestions would be appreciated. I'm leaning towards a Spyderco Dragonfly. I would go towards this. Well, the Spyderco Dragonfly is good. I think that's a great option. Or this. I think this is a great option too. Nitro V Steel. This is the Baby Banter. It's nice, small, compact, deep carry clip, very easy to deploy. The detent is really nice. It's a liner lock. You can get a 4-finger grip, even though it is such a tiny blade. But it's just, this was actually made for the ladies, or people that just want smaller knives. But I think it's awesome, man. I think this is a great option for somebody who really likes the chaparral, but wants a liner lock. Great option here. But yeah, I would say, you know, if you want to get her a backlock, get the Dragon, but I think this is a even better option just because it's a liner lock. But I mean, to each their own. The mini bug out, yeah, that's not a bad idea. This little guy's also really awesome. This is a little tiny guy. The new bow, Civivi bow. The Chaparral is another one. The Delica, Odium. Yep, the Odium, that's a good one. All of these are really good. Even though the Mini Goblin is another good one. There's so many good ones. I have a whole drawer of all the latest knives over here. Oh, you know what I almost recommend the most is, man, you can't go wrong with one of these. This thing is so snappy, it almost feels like it's assisted. She will have no problem deploying this. This is the Kaiser LUBE, L-I-E-B, L-I-E-B, but get the other micarta. They have another, this is the ship micarta, but they have better ones now. Very awesome. All right, let's get to the motherfucking stories, and then we'll talk more knives right after the story. Right after the story, we will talk more knives. Okay. So if you guys have some knife topics, sharpening topics, or anything you guys want to talk about, get them prepared. Get them prepared, because as of right now, no more questions for 1 second. So I'm going to talk about the first time I saw a police chase when I was a kid. I told this story a long time ago, but I think at that time I only had, you know, like 30 people in my lives. So I was a kid, and we were staying in this apartment building with my aunt, and is like a red brick apartment building, and there's 3 of them in a row, and then 3 of them in a row. So there's 6 buildings all together, and they go 2 stories high, 2 or 3 stories high. The point is that I was up on the balcony. I'm with some other little kid, and all of a sudden I hear screaming, and there's a parking lot right in front of me. There's a parking lot, but before the parking lot, there's like little spots of grass, like little, you know, like a yard basically, but it's not even really a yard. It's basically a parking lot. And there's like a wire that goes in between the parking lot and the grassy area before you get to the apartment building. Anyway, so I'm up on the ledge, so I'm looking down and I can see the grass in the parking lot. Well, I hear this yelling. All of a sudden I see this dude come running, and he's running, and right behind him is a cop. And so now I'm watching this cop chase. You know, it's the first one I ever seen. I'm a kid, so you know, I'm like super excited. Super excited. So I see this dude running. Well, at the same time, I can't remember if like the other cop came from the other direction, or maybe if he just came from the side and was also chasing him. But either way, these two cops wound up getting him. Right? I believe that like the two cops wound up just closing him in. Either way, they got him and they landed on the ground. And they're right underneath me now, right? And the guy's like on the ground, you know, with the cop, and the cops got him down on the ground. And I believe it was two cops. Either way, the cop was on his back and trying to cuff him. And so the cop is like got him on the ground. He's got his knee on his back and he busts out his cuffs and he's getting ready to cuff him. As he's getting the cuff around the guy's hand, the guy scrambles, right? The guy scrambles and gets up and starts running. Well, now the cop jumps up and starts chasing him. But little did he know he dropped his cuffs. I seen it because I'm right there, right? I'm right there staring right down. I'm like 30 feet away. So all I can see is the cuffs, right? All I can see is the handcuffs. They're gone now, right? He's chasing them. And then like the backup or whatever, they're gone, you know, chasing them. And so I got to go get me some handcuffs. So I go down there and I grab, you know, they're right there. So I get them. Now I got me some cop cuffs, some real cop cuffs, because, you know, at that age, you got those fake ones, you know, the fake ones, they got the button, you know, no, these are the real deals. Real deals. Well, I was also not stupid enough to put them on my wrist. I know you guys are already thinking, you put them on your wrist, didn't you? No, I'm not that stupid. So I'm running around with these with these with these handcuffs. I'm cool now, man. I finally got me a real pair of handcuffs. I'm like the coolest kid on the block. So I got these cuffs, and my friend, all right, he's not really a friend. Me and him had gotten into it so many times, but he's a little kid. He's in the same apartment building. He we're like now at this point, it's like hours later. Hours later, I got my cuffs, slinging them around my wrist and shit, or my finger. Anyway, so I'm down by the parking lot area, and my friend, so-called friend, this dude that's in the building, same age as me or whatever, I got the handcuffs, and he asks me to like to see them or something like that, right? Like, can I see them or whatever? And I go to hand him to him. And when I hand him to him, he grabs them and bam, just hits me, just fucking punches me and snags them and takes off running. Takes off running with my handcuffs and runs right to a manhole, right to a sewer, and throws them down the sewer. And I'm chasing him, right? I'm chasing him. He gets to the manhole, and slips him down the thing, and there they go. So then I'm chasing him. I'm behind him. So as soon as I get to the manhole, I'm just like stuck, and I just watch him, pop, and I'm just sitting there like, no, you know, it's my handcuffs. And I'm sitting there, I'm so upset, and I look up at him. And as soon as I look up, he rocks me, right? He rocks me. And I'm so pissed because these are my handcuffs, man. These are my fucking handcuffs. And so then me and him wind up getting into this fight. Or no. I knew I was gonna beat him. He knew I could beat him up. It was kind of weird that he even did that, because like I got into a fight with him like a few times already. Anyway, so when I stood up after that, he hit me, you know, and I stood up and I hit him in the stomach. I remember that. And then I hit him a couple times. And I remember there was this, you know, in between the grass and the parking lot was this wire thing. There was like these concrete poles, and hanging from the concrete poles was like this metal wire that like separates the parking lot from the grass. Well, I remember we were fighting right there, and I hit him a couple times, and he fell over the wire or something like that. And that was basically the end of that. But I just remember, man, that was like why'd you do that, man? Why'd you do that? That was my I actually had almost the same exact thing happened like a year before that. I was living in an apartment building and I found $100 bill right in front of my friend. And my friend, I found it. First of all, I found it. It was my $100 bill. And I'm sitting there looking at it like this, like trying to figure out. I thought it was fake, but trying to figure out if it's real. He snags it and punches me and tries to take off with my $100 bill that I just found. I got it back. But it's just funny how like the same thing happened with the handcuffs. But now I want to just tell a quick story about going to Baptist school. I know these are like jumping all over the board, but they were all like, when I was like real young. But I told this story too one time. But when I was a kid in kindergarten and preschool, like a real little kid, I went to a Baptist school. And it was only for preschool and kindergarten, but I remember going to this school, and I remember it was a brick building. All schools are brick, ain't they? Anyways, it was an all brick school building, just like every other school. And I got into this fight with this kid, and it was right against the school building. It was at recess, and all the kids are spread out outside, and we got into this fight. And I remember, like, it was a crazy ass fight. Like, we were against the brick wall, like, just slamming each other. Like, I know we were kids, and if I was watching it right now, I'd probably laugh. But at the time, I remember it being like crazy serious. Like, we were like swinging for the fences at each other, and like just lighting each other up, and we were against this brick wall, and we were just like bashing each other against this brick wall, like literally like bashing each other against this brick wall. And I remember during the fight looking over and seeing the teacher watching us, not doing a thing. She was just sitting there, like I seen her eyes just like never said nothing. And I'm thinking when I seen her eyes that she's going to be screaming, because this is a strict school. They can hit you. Like, this is a strict school. It's a Baptist school. You can get hit. And, but she didn't say nothing. She didn't do nothing. She just stood there, just staring. It was almost like, when I think about it now, that means that she didn't like one of us. It was either me or him. And she wanted one of us to get our asses beat. That's the only thing I can come up with. Why wouldn't you, as a teacher, as an adult, get in between that and stop that? Stop a fist fight from two kids, unless you wanted one of them to get hurt. That's the only thing I come up with in my head. But I just remember seeing her, and she wasn't that far away, but she was far enough away where she could like lie or something. But man, clear as day, I looked her right in the eyes. She's just staring at us. And I thought that was so weird. And then, like, I don't know, however long after, like a few seconds later, the bell rings, and it's a loud bell. It's an outside bell. So when the bell rings, like she just basically said, "All right, kids," and then that was it. Like we pretty much just ended it ourselves. Like, we wound up ending it, not the teacher, not nobody else. We ended it. But yeah, probably both of us. I hate to think that it was me, but it probably was. She probably did not like me. And she probably thought I was going to get my ass, or she was probably hoping that I was going to get my ass beat or something. Let's go, Brandon. I mean, 14C28N. But yeah, it was so weird to me, though. Like, I remember thinking about it after that, and like for like a long time, like, why didn't she do anything? And but yeah, super weird, super weird. Now I guess yeah, that was all the stories for tonight. So back to knives. Yeah, or she hated both of us, or she just hated her life. Oh man. I remember that one kid that I told you the story about with the $100 bill. When I was a kid, we got into an argument about something outside, and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what we argued about, but we got in this argument, and I was pissed off at him. And I went inside, and I knew he had a crush on my sister. So in the apartment building, there was windows and you could see the parking lot from the window. I told my sister, I said, call him over here. And our window's open. No screen, no nothing. It's just open. And she's like, why? I was like, just do it. Well, I knelt down under the window, right? And she calls him over there. And she's like, Jonathan, come here. And he walks over there and I hear him as soon as he gets to the window. Yeah. And I just hopped up, like literally, it's like, bink, and bam. And I punched him in the nose, or no, in the mouth. His mouth started bleeding, and then his mom pulled up, like right then, too. It's like it couldn't have happened any worse. He's sitting there crying, bleeding from the mouth. His mom just pulls in from work or wherever. But it was so funny. My sister still tells me that story every once in a while. Which knives does Cara carry on the regular? Her regular carry would be like, we've done videos on this, on multiples, but like she carries stuff like, she likes like the little fair and forge knives. These she really loves. Either one, this one or like this one, any of the little fair and forge Civivi knives. She likes the mini goblin, concept goblin. She loves the best tech goblin. She's a goblin lover. She likes the goblins. Best tech goblin. She loves that knife. She does not like backlock, so that's one thing she doesn't mess around with. She carries the sway back every once in a while, but I'll be honest, she's not she doesn't carry this as much as you would think. She did used to carry the Elementum a lot, like a lot. She's carried an Elementum so much that she's probably just done carrying it because she's carried it so much. The Civivi McKenna was one she carried for a long time. She hasn't carried that one in a while either. Hey, Cara, what knife did you carry yesterday? Come on, what's the name of it? Tannish green. Just bring it here really quick. She used to really like the mini bag lighter and Dolman, but we don't have the one she used to carry. Okay, so kind of like I just said, yeah, the fair and forge knives. This is the one she carried yesterday.
What's it called?
This one is the Odium.
Odium. I carry that one a lot.
Or Odin. Yeah, Odium.
I carry that
Odin or Odium? Kaiser Shard. Yeah, that's another one. Kaiser Shard. Like I said, the Kaiser. Somebody asked. The Kaiser.
I've been carrying the McKenna though most of the week.
The McKenna? Mm-hmm. I just pulled that one up.
McKenna, and then the other one that I was doing was.
Ooh, this one needs to be tuned up bad.
Yeah, fuck that bitch up.
You chipped the tip on it.
Well, I use it.
I just. Where is that? The LUBE though is another one. She loves carrying the LUBE. So,
what?
Yeah, you do.
I haven't carried it in a long time.
Yeah, you do. But you carried it for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, and that's like.
I need you to put that back in my fanny pack.
What?
Please.
The one I gotta fix it.
Okay, well, give me something.
Pick one out of there.
What's that one in your hand?
No.
No, wait. What is that?
No.
What is it?
I'm testing it.
I want to see it,
Okay,
please.
I got you one right here.
That's my drawer that I always go through.
Well,
I want a new. What is that?
I'm testing it right now. It's
4V. Okay, I'll test it.
No, you're gonna scratch the aluminum all this shit.
What's wrong? Is it?
Give me those drawers right there. Give me that drawer right there. Give me that drawer right there. Yes, I'm planning on giving it away.
What drawer? This one?
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one though. She carried this forever. I even carried this one for a long time.
Yeah, I did.
The mini Griptilian. But yeah, this little Boker's dope.
I'll test it though. I don't understand. Like
put this one back.
It will get scratched because it sits with other.
Because it's aluminum.
I know, but it's gonna.
And there's so many knives.
Anyway, isn't it?
Why don't you try this?
Isn't it gonna get scratched?
Not necessarily. We have another one, the one that you can carry.
What? This?
It's just not here. That one, we have 3 of those.
Why?
I'm saying we have a G10 one, a micarta one, that's an aluminum
This
one.
one feels a little more chalky.
So why
compared
don't you
to
grab the other one of the other 2?
But I really, really like the blade shape on this one. Are you
Alright.
really gonna be mad if it gets scratched?
No.
See, I carry my knife in my
Here it
fanny
is.
pack now. This is the new thing that I've been doing. So,
Um,
you wanna see?
let me see, baby.
This is my way. No, I put it on this side though.
Okay.
This is my way of getting away with not having big pockets.
Yeah.
Fanny packet. You know, they're always like, "Oh, just put it in your purse," and I'm like, "Well, that's dumb because who the fuck carries a purse with them all day everywhere they
That's
go?"
true. That's
So
true.
this is.
But you can just carry it right in your
Swing,
pocket.
swing, swing. No, I know I can't.
She carries the half track right now. It's on its way back. You already scratched it?
Oh no, that was dust. It was dust.
That was quick.
I was like, oh shit.
Sorry, scratched it.
But no, it's just a faster way. Like, boom. Howdy, y'all.
I know she liked the fire ant because she anodized it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
carried
hasn't-
that one for the
Longest time, yeah. That one's on phosphor bronze washers and Teflon. So if you want bearings, that's not a bearing knife. But it is a good knife, though. Great utility blade. I was actually going to talk about modern day knife fighting, but I know.
Hey, Dwayne.
Hey, Cara.
What it do? What it do?
But no, there's a lot of great new knives. Like this little guy. I know this is a little bit more pricier.
Fuck is
20
this?
CV. This one's a front flipper and a regular top flipper. It's a beast. Oh, this is a great one too. And it's a little chunker though. Cara's probably gonna wind up loving this one, but it might be a little too
Oh,
big.
I love that.
Well, you did the other day.
Not for the blade shape though. We went through this.
But
It's not good for work.
it comes
love
in a-
it, but not good for my work.
It comes in a sheep's foot.
Then I would love it.
Why wouldn't you love this? You can easily do a
I
utility
just
cut with
like
this.
the other ones better.
Okay.
They just
She
are better.
only likes sheep's foots and Wardenclyffes now.
And
Well, then what about this
utility.
one?
Ooh, why does this donut feel so gross?
I tried to already explain to him. It's all messed up.
Holy
I gotta
shit.
fix it. I gotta fix it. Here. I
Yeah.
see. I told you guys that thing was fucked up.
What the fuck is wrong with it? It's like the
It's
lock
brand
button
new.
was
It's
scraping.
brand new, just fresh out of the
I've
box
tried this
too.
already. This
I
is-
know. I said, how about that one?
I mean, I hate that it's red like that, but yeah.
Why?
I'm just not a red and like stark red and black person. It's kind of like a little boy
What about this
color
one?
to me. That's one of those.
Ooh,
That
cormorant.
one's really cool.
Yeah.
That one I really like.
I figured
actually.
you'd like this one. We got a bunch of knives right there too. What'd you think about this one? She was cutting cookies with this thing.
I did. I used it to cut sugar cookies like into custom shapes.
I guess it would be a good art knife though. That's what this is
is.
good for. This is a good art knife.
You could cut like paper with it, like you could score paper with it, and like you could do all
I
types
just
of shit
break
with it.
this clip right off. Just there you go. There's
Why are you doing that?
Because you can't carry it. It'll hit the blade, baby. That's why it's got a chip in the blade. Is because of the clip. It's got literally a
Dude,
chip in it.
Let me see it.
Let me break it off though.
No, I actually like this knife, and you're just out here fucking it up.
Well, because the titanium clip hits the blade,
You're
baby.
not gonna use the clip, so don't bend it. Now it's gonna catch things for no reason.
Just bend it back.
I can't. You effed it.
Take out the blade and bend it back. Take out. Yeah. Well, why don't you just hit the blade with the clip? There you go. It's already back. Bang. Now it'll actually probably
No.
work. Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Torture.
That was awful. That's how you know you have too many knives. If you're just willing to do that to a knife.
It's a piece of shit when the clip's like that. You got to break that
It's
clip
not-
off.
Who's using a clip on this anyway? Who?
Then why do you care?
Because I don't want a broken off thing. I still want it to look nice.
Well, you can cut it off and just sand it down. Like it has to
No,
go
it's
there
janky.
because it's
Just
part of the
leave it.
backspacer. You can cut it right off. Look, zoop, gone.
Just leave it. But it's not doing
Fine,
anything.
fine.
anymore.
Keep it. You better carry it tomorrow. You better carry it tomorrow.
You're abusing.
Did you decide on the knife that you're giving your uncle? Yeah, I'm giving him the. Oh
He's not watching this, is he?
no. I'm giving him the bow. I already sharpened it with a nice polished edge, or I put a 600 grit edge on the Elementum. So I was gonna get him a micarta elementum, but I could not find one with a blacked out blade. Only the
Wait,
satin
Ryan's
finishes.
here. I thought he was gonna be here.
He just showed up
Oh, late to the party.
late to the pot.
This is not a marriage thing. This is we just talk like this thing. I'm pretty sure we've always talked like this.
Talk like what? What are you talking
Exactly. That's my point. They said you can tell who's married.
about?
But it's like, I don't know. I like Jared, like when other people hear Jared talk, they think he's mad when he's not. Or like not mad, I don't think that's the right word, but like, you know what I mean? Upset.
Abusive.
Something. And I have to match it or I can't get a word in.
Fuck Mike, you ninja. This is Neeves' show. Yeah. But I wouldn't say all that though.
Well, you're just
What? What? What?
there's not a word for this. but you're-
Abrasive?
Like if no, because you're not.
I want to know what
actually.
this
It's
means.
how you see. It's
Do I really seem like that?
yes,
Okay.
you too.
All right. All right. I guess so.
Like I have to warn, like like give people that thing of like, okay, you're gonna meet my husband. Just be warned. He's not actually aggressive. He just sounds like he's is.
Okay.
You know, like how you used to have to warn people about your dad.
Yeah, but that was
You're
different.
becoming That.
That was different though.
You're becoming that in your own way.
Yeah, that was
In
different.
your own
though.
way. I said in your own way.
All right.
But
All
you're
right.
just,
I'll take it.
You know what? And you know what people always say when I say it? They're like, he's not aggressive. He's just passionate. That's the word I always get.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So
What? How?
I
They
guess
know what we're talking about.
maybe.
It's just, and I think that is the right word to describe it. It's passionate. When you talk about things, you're very passionate. You're very
I think
animated.
I think it depends on what we're talking about. But yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'll take it.
But
I'll take it.
even when you're joking around, though, even if it's a happy spirit, it's always passionate.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I believe
it's not
you.
a bad thing.
I believe
married
you.
you, didn't I?
Well,
You were always like this,
yeah. I guess.
and I loved it.
Huh? Well, hey, maybe it.
He's Bang Man. Bang! Yeah, that's you. In one word, bang!
What was the skeletonized knife similar to the bow? I forget the name of it. I think the bow would be better.
Irish is the word she's looking for. Yeah, that are you
Yeah.
Irish?
Yeah.
You are?
Uh-huh.
How much?
30%.
Oh shit, that's what it is. He sounds impatient because he wants a quick end of story. Yeah, you are impatient.
I'm not
Do
impatient.
you want to know what's so funny?
I'm only impatient with like electronics.
No, you know how we watched that show Midnight Mass, and you were getting so annoyed with all the monologues throughout it, where the characters.
Which one was Midnight Mass?
Well, I can't say without spoiling it for people, and I really don't want to if they haven't seen it. But that one with the priest in the.
Oh,
church
the
on
van.
island.
Yeah.
Don't you do that to people,
All right.
because that would fuck it up for someone.
They already heard it.
No, they didn't. Don't say it.
Okay.
But remember that show you kept fast forward or want me to
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
forward while they were talking? I even woke up at one point and saw you fast forward through one of the parts. Anyway, I was watching a review about that show today, and they were talking about all the monologues in the show and how many of them there were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go, they're real critics though, but they're kind of comedians too. And they go, honestly, anyone who got annoyed by those monologues either is impatient or is just too stupid to understand why it's important.
No, I understood them. The point I don't like is that they're fillers.
Well, they were
Sometimes
like,
they're
"Ooh,
just
this is
fillers.
squishy Stuff. That's what they're
It's
doing."
kind of like this, right? If you're watching a movie and they do like a makeout scene, right? It's like that's a filler. Like there's no point of it. It's not going to do anything for the show. It just means nothing. They just need an extra 30 seconds out of a
I do
show
think that in
to
that
fill
show-
up their hour and a half.
Well, I think in that show, though, I do agree with you. Some of them were like a little bit fucking extensive. but
Filler.
I do think in that show it wasn't intended to be filler, though.
Yeah, it was.
It was intended to be beautiful acting. I don't think it was supposed to be filler.
I don't know about all that,
I think it was
but
on purpose.
I think there were sometimes.
Well, I think you go into the show thinking it's going to be a scary show, right? And then that's actually not what it is. So
I
if you
think
go into it
there's-
thinking it's a super, super scary show,
I think
then
there's
you get impatient to get
sometimes.
to
I
that
think
show.
there's sometimes where you know if it's going to be information you need for the show. If it's information you need for the show, that's one thing. But if it winds up, it's kind of like that one show where it kept going back to his childhood. Like we get it, your childhood was fucked up. We don't need a fucking childhood moment every 10 minutes
Yeah, you
of when
get
you were
really upset
5.
about
Like,
that.
it's like, get to the fucking show I care about. Like, I don't care about your
But
childhood
that
right now.
is impatient, though.
That, yeah.
That
Oh.
show with the childhood thing wasn't bothering me. You were getting super upset.
No, I wasn't.
You were
I did not
throwing
get upset.
things. You punched out
So
something.
lying. No, I dealt with it. I just didn't like it. I just, it's like I get it. I understand
to watch
it.
a show when the person next to you can feel them tensing up every time they go to a flashback.
I'm not that impatient.
No, I know. All right, I will let
Jared,
you guys
have
go.
you done a
Peace
video
out.
on blade centering? I don't think I have, because other people have. Like Nick Shabazz has done one, and Metal Complex has done one. I haven't done one, but I could. It depends on what your issue is, but there's a lot of like tricks, like if you see which way it's facing, right? So say if it's pushed that way, right? Well, when you open it up, that means you're gonna have to push it the opposite way, like this. So you loosen it up, push it that way, tighten it up all the way, crank it really tight, close it, then loosen it slowly until it gets to centered. That's one good way. You could also stick a card in there while it's closed and wedge it all the way to the other side, and you loosen it up and then tighten. Do the same thing I just said, just with a card instead of pushing it with your finger. There's a lot of ways to do it. You could just take it all the way apart and put it back together too. I carried the BRS Evolved Nomad today. Hadn't carried it in a while, and it was calling my name. I like to do that every once in a while. Carry a knife I haven't carried in a while, just because. All jokes aside, that Mike Emler is live every time you click YouTube. That's funny. That is funny. God bless your wife, man. Such a great attitude with our knife addiction. Absolutely, absolutely. We're all a little impatient. Absolutely, for sure. I've recently taken my Para 3 apart twice. Doesn't center, pissing me off. Okay, well, the Para 3, the reason why, if it's the lightweight, that's why. The lightweight doesn't go centering. So if you have a Para 3 lightweight, don't try to get it centered, because it doesn't get centered. It doesn't have a washer on one side. That knife's not supposed to be centered. If you have a Para 3 lightweight, that knife will not be centered ever. It doesn't have a washer on one side. It only has a washer on one side. It's not supposed to be centered. It's the way they do it from the factory. Argue with them. Jared, do you own a doghouse? I live in the doghouse, Big Daddy. Bought the Kubi Atlas because of your video. Nice. I've been abusing it. Solid knife. Thanks. Yeah, it is. It is a very solid knife. That is a great example of a good hard use knife. I actually still have that one. I need to return it to Q1 Fiend. I'm probably gonna get his stuff back sent out on Friday. I've had it entirely way too long. I just dremeled the pokiness off my new Wii Thug clip. So much better now. I never tried that one. I never tried that one. Benjamin, thank you, brother. Fist bump to you. Thank you. Cheers, everybody. Cheers to all the ladies and gents. Would like to see a video on what you think about your perfect work knife. Ooh. I think there's different types of work. I think it depends on what qualifies as work. See, to me, when I think of work, I think of construction. But I also think of different kinds of construction. Like, I think of demolition construction. And in that case, I think of like a hard use knife, like a cold steel, something like that. And then in that case, kind of like the Tucson TS 380. But this could also be a great slicer and everything, but it won't be a good utility cutter. So, like, say if we're talking about like finishing work, then I'm gonna want something probably with like a Warncliffe, sheep's foot, some sort of blade like that. But just an all-around great work knife is like the Sabenza. That's an amazing work knife. I love the spear point or drop point blade for work. And then, like I said, like a Warncliffe sheep's foot style blade shape is really good, like this, because you have a lot of control, and you're a lot of work for construction is cutting lines, like say Tyvek or something, or siding or whatever, and you're cutting out down a line. You have a measurement. You take, say, 1 inch deep by 3 inches long, and then you cut out that that square. So that's usually how it goes. Or like stripping wire, cutting rope, straps, things like that. So being able to get behind a strap and pop it. But for that type of stuff, you want thinner geometry, not the thick geometry. So technically, like, geometry being a hard use is not what you want for that type of shit. That's why a razor blade works so good, because it's so thin. So something with really good geometry, even like a PM2, fantastic. A Mannix. The Mannix is an amazing work knife. That's probably my all-time favorite work knife, would probably be like a Mannix. The geometry for just about everything. It's just not going to be something I'm going to use for like demolition. Got both SOCOMs now. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. The Leatherman K2 goes to work with me every day. Would have looked. All right. Locktight tougher steel for that blade though. Well, they have the I don't know what the K2 has, but they have that Leatherman with the 154 CM and the S30V one. Oh, did you say you want a tougher steel? Okay, would have liked a tougher steel for that blade. Well, yeah, I could see that. So I'm not positive, but well, it doesn't matter. If I was going to get one of those, though, I would want a Leatherman with a little pry bar on it. Because that way you carry your knife that's a precision cutter. Because that's what a knife is for. And that's another thing. Going back to Triple B. So Triple B was also saying that a lot of knife reviewers today, not me, because I don't do this, but a lot of knife reviewers avoid the most important part about a review. Literally the most important part about a knife. What's the most important part about a knife? Come on, guys. What's the most important part about a knife? The blade, right? The blade. The blade is literally the most important part. The geometry and the heat treat. Most important part. So these things are made to cut. Obviously, there's different blade shapes and different grinds. But, like say with a hard use knife, like a thick boy geometry, anybody can make a pry bar, right? A pry bar can be a pry bar. You can buy a pry bar, and I'm not saying people shouldn't pry with their knives. I always say certain grinds are made to be pried with. However, the most beautiful thing about a knife is its cutting geometry and how well it does what it's made for, which is cutting. So having a good cutting knife, something with amazing geometry, if the heat treat is done right, is what you want in your pocket. Then you can have your Leatherman or your mini pry bar or whatever in your pocket too. Now you've got the best of both worlds. You got your hard use mixed with your cutting performance. And that's, I think that is like the best. If you're going to want like the best EDC or the best bang, instead of carrying a hard use knife and a lightweight knife, you could just carry one regular sized knife with amazing geometry and your pry bar with you, or multi-tool. What steel is that? Was that S30V2? That's why I carry several knives along with my Leatherman Sirs, usually a heavy duty and a slicer. Bang. Yeah, I think having the geometry is so important with your EDC knife, and I wanted to talk about the self or the knife fighting thing here in a second. Hey Jared, is there any chance a vid disassembly reassembly on the ZT0470 without using a soldering iron? Much appreciated, as there are none on the net. The 0470. I don't know. I can see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I think I'm going to send my Chavez scapegoat off to BGM Knives. I got actually had one here. I just mailed it out. But you know what I got in here right now? I got a BGM reground Malibu. I also got that Wrap It Up Buttercup. No, we still got another 2 hours to go. Another 2 more hours. Always carry at least 2 to 5 knives every day. Damn, 2 to 5 knives. Holy shit! I guess I do that sometimes when I switch them out. When I swap them out. Now go ahead and go live, Mike. Don't worry about us. We'll be out of here, in a few minutes. I usually wrap it up before 10, but go ahead and go live. I'm sure these guys will jump in there as soon as we're done. So I was listening to this guy, and he is a professional knife fighter, right? Like that's what he does. He studied all different types of bladed martial arts, and he does these videos and like breaks down, like that's what he does. He breaks down videos of like scenes in movies, and he also uses another guy. Anyways, point is he was talking about, in not just in movies, but in real life scenarios where people have a knife, they always seem to go for the kill zones, right? The kill spots, like the throat, the heart, the chest, things like that. And for because that's what people think is the way to end the fight. So that's the areas they go for. And he said that they always seem to avoid the most important area that you need to attack, which is the person or the attacker's weapons, which would be their hands, their arms, their limbs. And he said, like, a really good, and obviously everybody's not, a knife fighting expert, but when like somebody's hands coming in, or if they have a weapon or something like that, attacking that hand is important. If you cut that hand, they're not going to be able to use it, right? And then he was talking about like the other parts, like across the wrist, right? What kind of a move is that? But it's like people will go for the throat, but they won't even think about the wrist, under the armpit, things like that. And I thought about like that's so true. People don't really think about that. Behind the leg, all these places that are highly effective. And I think it's because people always tend to want to go to stabbing, right? Besides cutting. Well, then I thought about it, like if you were gonna have a knife and you wanted it to make sure that it was going to be effective during a self-defense scenario, one thing I want to say is that you need to make sure your edge is extremely sharp. Extremely sharp. Now, I would say that would be a great idea going after the limbs if you have a razor sharp edge. But if you have just a basic factory edge, and I'm talking about a basic one, I know there are some really, really effective, really good factory edges. I'm saying just, the run of the mill factory edge, you're not going to want to do that. Because if I got a sweater on, you probably aren't even going to cut through my sweater. Let's be real, right? You might cut through the sweater, but you're going to barely give me a flesh wound. Now, if I don't have a shirt on, but you got to, I guess expect the worst case scenario. So expect your attacker is fully clothed with leather and things like that. But if you have good edge geometry, I'm talking about your edges laid back, you got 15 to 17 degrees per side, or even 20 degrees per side if it's, a certain thickness, and you got a nasty sharp edge on there, then I could see, because it's not going to take much. That little swipe, that little swipe on the arm or wrist is going to cut to the bone. If you did have to go underneath the armpit, it's not going to take much. You're going to hit it, right? As long as you get under there, you're going to hit something. If you have to swipe across the wrist, you're not going to have to push into it and then just roll it around. You're going to be able to just go wham and get to the bone. But That's what I was thinking about when I was listening to that guy. I thought about, well, that's because most people realize they don't have a sharp fucking knife. The knife ain't gonna do anything. They know they can swing it all day, and if it hits the person, it's not even gonna cause a flesh wound. So they have no choice but to stab. And in that case, where are you going? You're gonna go towards the chest or the neck. All right. Now, I would say it's maybe a good idea to go after the hands with stabbing, but you're way less likely to hit it. People are a lot likely to move their hand out of the way of a blade coming in at it. Not saying you couldn't hit it, but just saying. Oh, for sure. You want everybody. See, I know, like, the huge argument, right? Is I'd rather use a 12 gauge shotgun, a Mossberg. I'd rather, like, you can say anything, but when you're talking about a knife, you're talking about a last ditch effort, and that's what you got, right? Because you could say I'd rather have pepper spray, but what do you have on you? That's the question. So most of the people in this chat right now, for sure, always have a knife on them, right? You might or might not have the pepper spray. You might or might not be able to get to it faster than that. What is the thing you can get to the fastest that's going to be the most effective in the time, in the situation you're in at that moment? Because, like, a lot of people could say a firearm. Do you have it on you? Is it accessible in that moment? Like, there's so many different scenarios. Like, I've seen so much shit. Like, I've seen a lot of people attacked. I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen so many scenarios, and it's almost never expected. And it's usually, in the times when it is, like, expected, when it's like you've seen it coming, like you've seen how it was going and you've seen it wind up popping off. It's still in a scenario where most people don't have things on them a lot of times, or the person doing the attacking has the upper hand in that moment right then and has the jump on the person. So, because remember, the attacker always gets to pick the drop. Always. The person that is doing the attacking is the one who gets to choose the time and when and all those things. And 9 times out of 10, it's when you're vulnerable. It's when you're not expecting it. Now, I'm not talking about just some regular gas station brawl, but even in a gas station brawl, you still usually don't expect to get in a gas station brawl that day. All right. Any truth to the rumor that I made up that you socked Advanced Knife Bro in his jaw at Blade Show 2021 because he insinuated that you favor 8CR over OSH 8? Be honest. Listen, man, we're not talking about the beef between me and Knife Bro. All right. Some people in some circumstances does get stopped by pepper spray. Oh, for sure. For sure. I got Cara pepper spray. I think it's okay. So first of all, if we're gonna talk about pepper spray, get the good stuff, get the right stuff. Don't get the fucking cheap shit out of the gas station. Order some good stuff. Get something that has the right effectiveness, because what is it? 25%, it's either, I think it's 15, actually 15% of all people are not affected by pepper spray. So that's just the way it is. That's science for whatever reason. So only 80 to 85% of the population is absolutely affected by pepper spray. For whatever reason, 15% is just not affected. They just don't get affected by it for whatever reason. So you got to put that into consideration. Next, you got to consider the people that you might be dealing with, which are all walks of the world, and you don't know the situation, what they're on, what their motives are, how desperate they are, all these things. So you want to make sure, if you're using pepper spray, that it's as powerful as you can get, because there's different percentages. So there's some, like the gas station stuff, people could use that as mouth spray, right? Like, you want to get the stuff that's highly potent, right? That if you just squirt in front of them or like their chest, it's going to affect them bad. If you just spray in their vicinity, it's going to affect them bad. But yeah, I think it's highly effective. Absolutely. I've seen this stuff end fights many times, but I've also seen where I seen this guy get lit up. I'm talking about covered, and he didn't stop nothing. Like there wasn't no stopping him. Actually, all the other cops around him want him getting sprayed, and they want him getting more messed up than he did. Everyone who carries an SD Classic should really look at the Executive 81, a little bigger, and the scissors are superior with the micro serrations. From Urban Woodsman 87, tendons and ligaments to decapitate, to kill, keep everyone alive. 9mm all day. They actually have beef. The world will never know. 10%. There you go. Bear spray. There you go. That's what you would hope to have. Mace. I go auto corrected from don't to does, but anyway, I've been around people during pepper spray, etc. Some cry in a bit and some don't. Yeah, I guess like I said, I guess that there's that percentage that just is not affected. Like they have zero effect from it. So you know, you gotta hope that you're dealing with a person that is affected, which 80%, 85% is the majority. So your chances are better that you're gonna deal with somebody who's affected. With auto connect. Wasp spray, cheap self-defense. That's hilarious. I don't know how that would work. I don't think that would work as good. It would probably be very nasty. I'm sure it would burn, but I don't think it'd be as effective. Pepper spray is it's effective because of the fumes. The fumes affect the eye like glass. That's almost what it's like. Like when it like gets in, especially when you breathe it too, it chokes you. So it chokes you, which wasp spray I think does too. I think it chokes you, but not to the effect of pepper spray. But yeah, hey, use what you got, right? Use what you got. I'm rather lucky that I have a fully trained protection dog 24/7, 365 right by my side. Dutch Herder Shepherd, and she's always watching my back. One bark will make most rethink the size of their balls. Yeah, I think having a guard dog is a good thing for sure. I've had many, so and I've trained of um lots of guard dogs. The problem is, and this is where I think you need to train your dog. All right. And I'm not saying you specifically, I'm talking about anybody who has a guard dog. Most likely your problem will happen when your dog is in your vehicle. Just saying. Or in your house. Meaning locked on the other side of the door. Now, some dogs are trained to open the door. Some dogs are trained to roll down the window. Some dogs are trained to, like I said, open, like I train dogs to open up doors. So that's on you to get the proper training. I'm not saying your dog isn't trained for that, but I'm saying whoever has a guard dog, if it's going to be a real guard dog, that's what it needs to know. It needs to know how to get out that door in a situation where it needs to do its job. I'm in the 15%. Does nothing to me. Neither does mustard gas. In the military, for all our training, everyone was like, damn, dude, that shit don't bother you. Lucky SOB, right? And I mean, we have 109 people in here, and you see right there, bam, he doesn't get affected. And if you're somebody who's never had it around you, you don't know. You might be one of the people that does or doesn't. Sticks and stones may break bones, but hollow points expand on impact. I like that. That's a good saying. I like that one. If they are high as fuck, pepper spray won't work. Well, that's what I meant before. That the guy that I've seen a bunch of them, but this one in particular, I don't know what he was on. He could have been on. He thought he was Jesus. So, but he got sprayed worse than I've ever seen somebody sprayed, and it was nothing to him. But no, a good guard dog is definitely very, very useful, especially if it's a working dog. Your breed is a working breed, but having a working breed makes it to where you can also have them do other things too, not just protection, but that's why I really like working breeds. I also like the guard dog breeds, right? The guard dog breeds are considered usually medium intelligence. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't working breeds that fall in the same category as guard dog breeds, like the shepherds and stuff. But certain breeds like mastiffs and things like that, a lot of those don't fall into the working breeds. Some do, like Rottweilers and things like that. They fall into that. But having jobs for those dogs are really important, because the more jobs you have for it, the more socialized, the more trained, and the more on cue that dog will be. The dog is literally like a switch, and I mean that, and like you can make them do anything like that. You don't have to ask them twice. The dogs are always prepared to work. They're always working and doing things for you. So they're always prepared to do it. So if you did need them to do something at the drop of a dime, or if it's a situation and you call him, he's coming no matter what. It's not if he comes, it's when he comes. And that's the way you want your dog. Your dog should be like where you yell and you don't have a second thought on whether or not that dog won't be there. And that's how your dog should be, especially a guard dog. As you get into a situation in your front yard and your dog's in the backyard, you don't want to wonder whether or not your dog heard you. You don't want to wonder whether or not your dog is coming or fucking around with a squirrel. You want to know it doesn't matter if he's got a steak in his mouth. You drop it and he's coming right now, because that's how a good guard dog should be. And you should put that to the test. Just finished sharpening my hinder, 23 degrees per side with a bark river, CBN, then 30 degrees per side, 600 degrees per side micro bevel. I'm not sure how this would work. Just finished sharpening my hinder, 23 degrees per side with a bark river, CBN. I mean, 23 degrees per side isn't bad. I mean, especially for something that thick. I would say you do 20 degrees per side, but 23 degrees isn't bad. Then 30 degrees. I mean, it sounds fine, but I probably personally would have went maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Most of the time when I do a micro bevel, I don't measure the exact measurement, but 30 degrees sounds a little low, but I could be wrong. I mean, you just got to test it out and see how it works out for you. But I would say, this is what I would say, to be honest, that 23 degrees per side doesn't sound like it needs a micro bevel on a hinder, because a hinder, man, this thing, look at this. Sometimes, man, this thing is stuck in there. You can't get it out. And then other times you can. Anyways, 23 degrees per side on a hinder sounds just like a good, strong, tough edge. It doesn't sound like you need a micro bevel on that. But then again, I don't know. I'm not looking at it. But like with my hinders, I usually do anywhere from 17 to 20 degrees per side. Now, I could understand having a micro bevel on like 17 degrees per side, or even 15 degrees per side. 20 degrees per side, I would just leave it the way it is. That's a strong edge for a hinder, because a hinder is already thick. Now, 23 degrees per side, that's a nice strong edge. You shouldn't be worried about toughness at that point. So I wouldn't think you would need a micro bevel, unless if you've sharpened it, now you've been using it, and now you don't have time, you don't want to resharpen it, and you're just trying to get more life out of the edge. So you do a micro bevel to increase your performance for longer. So that's what I would say about that. Don't rush. You shut your feed down. Why'd you shut your feed down? I was literally just about to end. I was just trying to get more donations from you. I'm just joking. No sense running a feed for like 10 folks. What do you mean? 10 folks is 10 folks. That's 10 people. And I'm about to get out of here now. Fuck. But if you're not going to run yours, I'm running mine a little extra late because I'm not doing any this weekend. I mean, I might on Sunday, but I won't be around on Saturday. But don't forget, guys, on December 3rd, the 24-hour live. Why is things late right now? Hello? What's up? Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm about to take off right now. I thought I was talking to you just now. So you're not gonna go live? Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Okay. All right. All right. No problem. All right, bud. Bye. That was Mike. He said he had a migraine, so he canceled it, or he shut his live down. I'm also lucky to wait. I am also lucky my dog has amazing lines with her grandfather being a dog called Kuno. Google him, amazing stories, served alongside and saved the lives of British Special Forces. That's amazing. That's awesome. Genetics is definitely a huge thing with dogs. But that's also why working dogs are separated from hunting dogs, and things like that, because those genetics fall deep and it's genetics. Genetics are huge with dogs, just like with people. I mean, same thing. If your parents were all military or say all construction for multiple generations, you're going to have better success probably in those fields because it's in your bloodline. Blade thickness has to come into it. Todd Carr. Blades and Fade said, damn it. I don't know what he said damn it for. Mike Amler, some real next level trolling. um, oh yeah, Blades and Fades. I should have mentioned this already. There's 102 people in here. It looks like we just lost like 8 people. You sons of bitches. I'm just joking. Blades and Fades has a giveaway coming up because he's trying to hit 1,000 followers. Go and sub to Blades and Fades. He's doing 1,000 follower giveaway. He has 2 giveaways with multiple different things. Excuse me. So definitely go and sub to his channel. Get him to 1,000. His birthday is on Friday. So happy birthday to him, first of all. Happy birthday, brother. And hopefully you hit that mark here very soon. Hopefully you hit it Friday, but if not, hopefully you hit it very soon after and get his ass to 1,000. You need to do another bootleg phone call. And yeah, I should do that. But you know what? Since I have the StreamYard now, I'll just have people come on. They don't have to. My thing is so delayed right now. I think Canada's in here because I'm looking at it delayed on the thing that shouldn't be delayed. Anyways, I would just do it StreamYard and I could send the people a link. They could come in and they don't have to show their face. If they don't want to show their face, they could just point their camera down at a table, as long as their voice can be heard. Thank you, Breeze. Here's Blades and Fades channel right here on YouTube. Go and sub to his channel. Thank you, Breeze. Snuz is subbed. Awesome. Yes, go and sub to his channel. Let's get him to 1,000. Awesome, dude. Awesome channel. Shit, I'm about to do me a fade. Me and Cara about to fade my shit up. Real nice like. We want 150 likes. We need 7 more. Hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button. Let's get to 150 likes. That'd be amazing. Well, let's go for like 10 more minutes or something, guys. I mean, Mike's not going live, and we got 96 people in here. Shit, we might as well keep on going. Somebody running around me. I got 6% battery on this, so I got plenty of life. This one's probably out about 10%, so we got a good 10 minutes. At least. Let's talk some more knives while we're in here. Seth! What's up, Seth? Pop up. Man, this thing is so delayed. Hope y'all had a great live. Just dropped in to show some love and support. Any words on them new button locks of Eevees? Any day now, any day, the new Cormorant will be in. It's just, it takes like 2 to 3 weeks to travel overseas. So you figure even like Two Suns, right? Two Suns takes 6 days to ship out from the factory. Then it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to show up at your door. So you figure it takes them about 2 to 3 weeks to cross the ocean. Then they get to to the motherland, and then it takes them however long to go through each shipping department to get to the factory that sells it. So I would say any day now, because that was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, they were already on the way. So shouldn't be long. Should not be long at all. I got to get a new edge on my my big belly. I got the Tuya big belly, but I'll be honest, man, this edge was bad. I did not like the edge at all on this thing. It did not come sharp at all. Like, I thought maybe I'm just getting there. I guess there is a thing, and I heard somebody else say this a while back, that they're, how do you say it? Like, they were getting too spoiled with edges, like the types of edges, when you sharpen a lot and you really get lots of sharp edges, you wind up getting spoiled with how sharp an edge is. And then when you feel just regular, decent edges, they don't even feel sharp anymore. Like, people tell me all the time, like when I'm doing my videos, they'll be like, man, when you touch that edge, it scares me. And it's like, dude, I touch edges all day long. I can literally touch an edge right away and know how, if I can rub it or not, or how to touch it. Like, I know my edge is pretty good, but I know people watching sometimes don't know that. So they just anticipate that. And then also, like, I have people tell me, like, oh, that was one of my edges. You'd have cut yourself to the bone. And it's like, trust me, no, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have, bro. I wouldn't have. No matter how sharp your edge is, trust me, I would have been just fine. Forget to tell you, Kubi contacted me about sending me some stuff. Awesome, man. Maybe somebody had your back. Maybe somebody recommended you. You ever think of that? That's awesome, man. Good for you. Get them. Make sure you get the what is it? The 331, the 122, what the hell is that one? What is the, man, I can't even think of the numbers now. What is that? The 322? This one's a really good one too. I can't, man, they got to stop these numbers, man. These numbers are just too much because they're too similar. I know why they do it. They do it because on Amazon, it makes it to where it's easier to find and link and everything. But damn it, these numbers are just too fucking much. We got Tucson with their TS numbers. We got Kubi with their KU numbers. We got ZT with their ZT numbers. Too many fucking numbers, man. The Royal, yes, the Royal's a good one. But yes, the 331. What was that other one? What was that one I sent to Lefty? I sent him the 331 also, but I also sent him the one that's like the Koenig Arius. The Drake, okay, yeah, that's an older one. The Drake's an older model. Just FYI, if you want to get it for the views, I'm telling you, get the 331 or the one that's similar to like this one, the Royal, brand new model. Awesome knife. I got all the brand new ones, the ones that literally just hit the deck. This is a good one. I just got this one yesterday, brand new model. But yeah, I would recommend getting the brand spanking new, the 322. Thank you, Samurai. The 322. I really think you'll like the 322, Mike. The 322 is a good one. And then the 331. The 322 and the 331. If you get those, you'll be happy. And if you don't get them, I'll send them to you. You were given a choice of 3 knives. I'm telling you, those 2 that I just mentioned, the 322 and the 331, those are the best ones they got right now. There you go, John Evans. He's got them all too. Me and John have been battling on who's got the best Kubies, and we got the same ones, but we've been battling. But yes, all those are the good ones. The 3-2-1. Yes, the 3-2-1. That's the one I just held up. The 3-3-1, the 122, and the 322. Yes, John Evans is 100% correct. Anybody who wants to know what Kubies to get, right there, it's on the screen. Those are the best models right now. And to be honest, the 331 and the 322 are going to be the best budget knives of the year. And I'll be honest, right now, right off the bat, they got one of those two have got a really good chance of winning. Hands down right now. The Riffle will be in it. The Brazen will be in it. But I'll just be honest, guys. It's going to be tough for them to beat the 322 or the 331. And I'm almost on the fence saying the 331 might even be better than the 322 when it comes to a medium-sized knife, because the 322 is a large knife. The 331 is a medium-sized knife. So if you're into big knives, 322 is going to be the one to get. But if you don't like big knives, the 331, man, it's a perfect large size knife. It's not too big, not too small. The action is insane. The detents are so well tuned on these knives. Even this little fucker, this little guy right here, it's not even going to be like the best one, but damn it, this thing is amazing. And I would have never thought this was such a good knife. This thing's awesome. And even though it's a deep carry clip, they're not raised up really high, so Mike actually might like that. They do have some models with non-deep carry clips. Jared, do you wait? What happened? Do you ever see Kubi moving their steels besides D2? Well, they just recently did 14C28 on this one, so I'm hoping I'm gonna try talking to them and telling them like, hey, if you guys did all those models, those new models in 14C28N, like it'd be such a different story. People would be looking at them completely different. But I don't think they know. I think they think the D2 is like the best budget option, even though they do price this one a little bit more expensive. So that does show that they realize that 14C is more desirable, but they can get D2 for such a cheap price. And let's be real, man, these knives, they are so good. So good. I mean, this thing is amazing. It's kind of ugly. This is ugly, but this is amazing. And I don't care that it's D2 because it's so good. What about the Shieldin Bulbosar with the watermelon G10? I haven't had it. I haven't tried it. Might be good, might not be. I haven't tried that one. The Shieldin knives are pretty good though. Mike would like the low clip after the Kaiser. Right, exactly. Mike would actually rather have a Kaiser land clip on everything. 14C28 sells knives by itself. Okay, so I might have talked Rake into doing a titanium 801. I might have talked him into it. It won't be coming right now. It'll be coming next year if they do it. They asked me what steel should they do it in. They said 14C or 154 CM. I said that I think that they should do it in 14C 28N. You guys might prefer 154 CM. They have both 154 CM and 14C 28N. I just figured they do a really good job with their 14C. So, I think about it. They have a titanium version of the 801, and I'd buy it for sure. That is such a good, solid budget knife. Now, if you put some premium materials on it, I'm sold. I just hope they don't put Rake on the clip. Yep, a Thai 801. That would be amazing, right? So I talked to them because they had all these knives of all their budget knives made into titanium knives, and I said, why didn't you guys ever do an 801? And they said something about, oh, well, that wasn't. They didn't have it in their plans. And I said, well, you guys, if you guys knew it was good for you, you guys would do a titanium 801. It'd be the best selling knife you guys ever done in premium. right? And I don't think they realized that. Right, give me that 14C. Kubi has done S30V. Yes, Kubi's done a bunch of different steels, really. But with their budget knives, they usually do D2 and AUS 10. Damn Designs are smart and went to 14C on the newer knives. Smart, right? You gotta know your market, man. You gotta know your market. I know. I don't like that either. I don't like that either. That clip thing, I'm gonna talk to them and say, like, listen, with the new 801, don't do that clip. Do a different color. I mean, it'd almost be better if they did that knife in different colors, like raw titanium with black or something, or raw titanium and raw hardware, right? That would be cool. Instead of doing a color at all, just raw. That'd be badass. Maybe the blue studs, but do something that separates the budget 801 from the premium one, but do not do that blue clip with rake on it. If you're gonna do the blue clip, but don't put rake on it, please. What's the negatives of D2? The negatives of D2. Okay. Negatives of D2. Go. It's not a great steel for production companies. It wasn't a steel for production companies. It was a steel for custom heat treaters. So from a custom heat treater, it's a really good steel. It's a very hard steel to heat treat properly and evenly across the board when you're talking about doing production level heat treats. So if you're doing small batches, then yes, you can guarantee that each one of them out of like 3 knives or whatever, a small batch, is heat treated to blank HRC. But when you're doing 100 knives at once, you can't guarantee that any of them are at an optimal HRC. So what winds up happening is these production companies can't heat treat it across the board properly. Yes, you will get a bunch of decent D2, but none of them will be as D2 should perform. And you're going to get some that are shit. You're just gonna. If you have a production company doing D2, you're going to get some out of them that aren't the best. Now, some of the companies have realized this, and I think they did tweak some things and maybe start heat treating the batches in smaller batches. You know, maybe at first they were doing them by like the thousands or something, and now they're doing them by the dozens. I don't know, but they did improve it after they were called out a couple years ago. But another thing is basically that's really it. That's really the only downfall. I mean, you could say that it's not very corrosion resistant. It's almost a stainless, but it's not a stainless, so you do have to worry about corrosion. But other than that, I mean, it's not a tough steel, but there's a lot of steels that are not tough. It's plenty tough though for, you know, regular shit. Especially for pocket knives. But the one biggest thing is just it's difficult to heat treat perfectly for production companies. It's not that it's difficult to heat treat, it's that it's difficult to heat treat in large batches. Not sure. Not sure if you do them stateside like we do in the UK, but have just seen the Boker Plus Advent calendar. Kind of cool idea of knife nuts. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it, Jim. I can't wait for the there's a new Wii knife. It's not the Wii Schnick, it's the Wii oh man. Seth, what's the name of that Wii knife? What's the name of that new Wii knife? It's not out yet, Seth. There's a new Wii knife. We've talked about it, me and you. Like the executive, something weird. I forget the name of it. Just sharpened my Spidey chef, and it's fuck you, cut your ass to the bone sharp. You can barely even touch it because it wants to bite through your finger. I know what you're talking about, man. I sharpened some S90V earlier, and I got that shit wicked sharp. This one's a little thicker behind the edge, and I didn't lay it back. I did it at 20 degrees per side, so it's not fuck you sharp. If I went to 17 degrees, it would be, but at 20 degrees, with as thick as it is behind the edge, it's nasty sharp. It's not fuck you, cut your ass to the bone sharp, but it'll definitely cut you to the bone. It's very, very sharp. What is that Wii knife called, man? It's the new Wii knife that's going to be coming out. It comes in a red one and a blue one. One's got a Tonto that has a recurve in it, and then the other one is a drop point. Come on, guys. What's the damn name of the knife? It's a Wii knife. This is the last thing I want to say, and then we're out of here because my damn computer's about to die on me. The Wii, oh man, it's like some weird name, like executive or something, or I think it starts with an M or something. Come on, guys. What is it called? It's the new Wee Wee. It's just a little Wee Wee. Don't be surprised if Neeves Knives winds up getting a Wii made design. A Neeves Knives design by Wii. What angle should you put on your T1? I would put between 17 and 20 degrees. My shit is about to